you see me on video. Okay, so Ricky and I are doing something a little bit different. I actually went out to where I had clear internet so we could try to do a live feed where some of you guys, where I could be on the camera more this morning. So we're gonna be getting into it, guys. So don't mind me. I'm going to go look at comments, get everything set up, and then I'll come back and we'll start talking from there. All right. So give me 1 second. And Ricky, you good on the titles and all? Do I need to do anything? Okay, there's no problem, brother. Gotcha. All right, guys. The name of this show today is going to be called "Who is Jesus? Who is God? The Bigger Picture." All right. So obviously, I posted my video that I guess made me famous or whatever. And it brought all of this attention to me, positive and negative. It was the video that I made 3 years ago today, right? Or 3 years ago this month. That's the anniversary of it, right? And so I just replayed that video, the original version, not the one where somebody clipped it and said, ex-pastor leaves the church, says he can't teach a lot of black people anymore. Those weren't my words. My words were what was on camera, right? So it ended up reminding me of this video via memory in Facebook. So I haven't saw this video, the original one. People ask me for it all the time, but I didn't know what I titled it, so I couldn't find it through search. So anyway, this video comes back up to me through search, and I end up seeing this video. So I went on ahead and stripped it off of my other Facebook and put it on my fan page, I guess, Be Evolution page. And from there, there went the pretty much the same response that I always was getting 3 years ago. Now, of course, we're 3 years later, right? So many people know who I am. They know, kind of what I discuss, kind of how I see things, right? And many people have came to the conclusion that I was telling the truth, that I was accurate in what I was saying. Many people who hated me in the beginning came back months later, years later, to apologize for death threats and all these things because they realized that they were in error, right? Now, me thinking that this video had pretty much, I guess, been seen as it's duplicated over and over on Facebook, and some of the videos have 4 million views, some of them have 8 million views now, all the same videos. Okay, so you would think that this video has reached a lot of people. However, when I posted this video recently, you would think it was a very fresh, very new video, as people still came out complaining, having some of the same arguments as they were presenting 3 years ago. Literally blew my mind. I didn't think that that it would happen to that degree, not when it's so similar, not when it's not when it's the same exact video posted 3 years later after the fact. You would think, that this information would have at least been heard before. But either way, guys, it obviously it wasn't. So I got all these Christians, of course, now coming to me telling me that, Jesus, of course, does exist. And so here's the thing. They're using the Bible as evidence. So, of course, day before yesterday, I posted on my page that, or yesterday, I think, dear believers, the Bible is not, or scriptures are not evidence for Jesus. Why don't we understand it? Why is that so hard to understand? Simple question. And believe it or not, Christians lit that post up trying to say that it is in fact proof of Jesus. Scriptures are. And so, of course, I went on ahead to explain that if the scriptures or the Bible is evidence of Jesus, then, a Marvel comic is evidence of Wolverine, or Harry Potter book is evidence of Voldemort, right? And so this still didn't resonate with them. They still didn't get that. So we're going to go into that today, guys. So I know a lot of you guys, I see the chat on YouTube now. I see it's a little bit deflated as it is not 8 o'clock at night. So I do appreciate you guys waking up and get with me. What's up, Jamal? I see you in the building. What's up, brother? What's up, Leishan, Nathaniel, Dave B, Jennifer Wade? What's going on? So we're talking about who is God. What's going on, Marcus Johnson, Black Caesar, Young Elder Truth. What's going on, Tony Hampton? What's good with y'all? So just give me a minute, guys. Let me update the title of this video here from YouTube so people can know that it's just not testing. That could possibly be why they're not on. So let's see here. Just give me a moment, guys. I'm typing. While I'm typing, guys, just anybody who's traveling with us this year on the Be Evolution travel team, make sure that you go to Facebook. On Facebook, just go to search and type in Kevin Wesley Group. Add yourself or ask to be accepted into that group. You will be accepted, and we'll go from there. All right. So make sure you do that. I get people who emailing me, coming to Instagram, which I appreciate all of that. If you don't know, message us. We'll get the information to you. But of course, that is the way you do it. Just go to Kevin Wesley Group, and you'll be able to find it from there. Okay, so guys, I'm about to go back to the camera, and we're gonna start rapping. I won't be able to see the comments for a minute. All right, so let's just rap. All right, fantastic. What's up, family? All right, so who is Jesus? Who is God? Let's look at the big picture, right? So many people, if you were to ask them who is God in this demographic, they would say, Yahweh. They would say Elohim. They would say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? The invisible being that lives in the sky, who is responsible for creating everything with so much as a word. Who said, let there be light. This is who they would say God is by their description, because this is who they were taught God was. Now, that's only if you ask that question in this demographic. Okay, if you ask this question in India, they would say that Brahma is God. Brahma is the person who created words and created a song. Brahma is attributed for creating the world with a song, which is just sound, the same way as Yahweh is attributed for creating the world by speaking, which is just sound. Same thing with Allah. Sound, frequency is what created the universe, vibration, right? And so regardless, whoever you would ask based on their demographic, they're going to give you a different answer for God. Well, who is Jesus? In this demographic, in this Christian demographic, you'd ask who is Jesus, and they would say, well, he is the Son of God, right? The anointed, chosen one of God, the Redeemer, God who was in the flesh, God who was there all along, but chose to reveal himself in the form of flesh. For it is written, in the beginning was the Word was God, and the Word was what? With God. And then the Word did what? Became man. So Jesus is the Word, but he's man. So he's walking words. He's walking vibration, if you will. This is Jesus in the flesh. He is the walking vibration of God, right? So this is who Jesus is. If you were to ask a Christian, now they never use words like vibration, but they would simply say that he's the Son of God, the chosen one, right? God being revealed in flesh to die or be sacrificed to redeem mankind from sin. This is who Jesus is. He's attributed for walking on water, being raised from the dead, raising people from the dead. Jesus is attributed for finding 12 disciples, raising them to the point of enlightenment, and then spreading his message throughout, teaching things in a way that couldn't be understood by the formal type of teaching. So he used things like allegory. In fact, the Bible says that he spoke in parables, and he never spoke without a parable. The Bible says that Jesus wasn't, in fact, a straight shooter. He always told a story that meant something else. He never spoke straight. The Bible says, and with a parable, without a parable, he never spoke. So Jesus only spoke in parables. He only taught lessons via stories, allegory. He never taught you directly. Understand that, okay? This is who Jesus is, even if you ask a Christian. In the Bible, the literature we have in the Bible depicts Jesus as a person who is a sage, who tells stories. Not he's a scientist or a biologist. He doesn't measure what he teaches by reality. He simply just makes comparisons by looking throughout. He philosophizes, right? He's a philosopher, right? This is what Jesus is. Now, let's ask a Muslim who is Jesus. They wouldn't say he is the Son of God, that he was holy and set apart. They would say that he was just a prophet, right? So you're going to have, and this is still a Abrahamic religion, okay? Meaning Allah is Yahweh, right? Same God, different name, different rules, but they're the same God, whatever. But I get it because they came from the same place. You understand? So, of course, Abrahamic religions. Now, what's the other Abrahamic religion? That is Judaism, okay? Or Judaism, as you would call it, right? And so let's look at this. Judaism, they wouldn't say that Jesus is the Son of God. They don't believe that he was holy at all. You understand what I'm saying? So these are people who attribute and ascribe to beliefs, number one, because I want you guys to understand, you're going to say, well, Muslims agree that Jesus existed, but he wasn't a son of God. Well, Jews just say he wasn't God in the flesh. I hope you don't think that because none of them outright say Jesus never existed, that doesn't mean that Jesus somewhere in history is true. Please understand, these are Abrahamic religions. They're not going to come out and talk like that, right? They're not going to completely take Jesus away. They're just going to say, well, I don't think he was who they say he was. Please understand that there is a little bit of agreement, even in agree to disagree, right? I can tell you that your God, the son of your God, wasn't a prophet, but I still believe that Muhammad spoke to Allah without proof, right? A Jew can tell you that Jesus isn't the son of God, but they still believe that a God spoke to Israelites and gave them Jewish festivals to celebrate with no proof. You understand what I'm saying? So all of this stuff is accepted on zero proof. So whoever you would describe Jesus as, he is just words. It's so funny that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Think about this. A guy asked me yesterday, so what are you trying to say? What came first, words or man? I said, what are words without man? What are you talking about? No other species speaks and uses words as a tool to navigate other than man. Men created words. To say that words existed before man, that just sounds, who would the words be for? You can look in, now this is what I'm saying. You can weigh things out in reality. You understand? Weighing things out in reality. Let's look at history. You can tell that language was built and created by man. Nowhere in history do we see language just popping out of thin air. Nowhere. So we know that words and language, a way to speak, dialogue, and navigate, understand each other, this was created by man. Words. We're still making up words today, right? So yeah, God is the word. Explain God without words. Your whole idea of God puts you under a spell. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. We don't understand how powerful spells are. Side note, we have 60 minutes in an hour, right? 60 minutes, 60 minutes in an hour, that's 6. 60 seconds in a minute, that's 6. 24 hours in a day, 2 and 4 make 6. Mark of the beast, 666. Father time, we are stuck in a matrix of a spell, 666. 60 minutes in a day, 60 minutes in a day, 60 seconds in a minute, and then 24 hours in a day, that is 666. So that's what I mean. We wouldn't even understand time without words, without a map, without a formula. The same way we wouldn't understand God. We need words to understand God. God is just a word that was created by man. So this idea that man or God called himself a God and told men to refer to him as a God is ridiculous. A God would never call itself a God. That is a man-made word. A God who exists before everything wouldn't pick this one word out of all words and say, I'm gonna call myself a God. Think about this. It's almost like a rap name. If you are an artist or a lyricist, you choose your name, right? You see what I'm saying? You chose your name. No, or someone chose it for you. But that name, you applied it to yourself and make it you. That name in itself doesn't mean you. In fact, you can hear this name said other times and it simply won't mean you. You see what I'm saying? It's funny because they say, Jay-Z calls himself Hova, but JC sounds like JC, Jesus Christ, Jay-Z, JC, right? Nazir, Jesus was called Nazir. Nazir means serpent priest. Look at Nas. Nas song, God's Son. Nas has an album where he's sitting down like the Last Supper. I think it's called The Street's Disciple. Nas has an album where he has the Pharaoh on the front. And what sits in the center of Pharaoh's head? A serpent. You see what I'm saying? And so we all know that Nas was woke way before his time. So maybe Nas has some esoteric knowledge and said, I'm gonna call myself Nazir, right? Or maybe Nas understood what Nazir meant and said, I'm gonna use this big time. You see what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna transfer back over, look at some comments and try to respond to what somebody's saying, okay? So let's do this first. YouTube first. Thank you so much, Charles McCullough. Sorry I didn't thank you right away. I couldn't see it. Actions speak louder than words, brother. Let's see here. Let me just look, okay. Right, Shondell Thomas, Jay-Z, JC, Hova is God of rap, right? The same way we use words like GOAT today. You're gonna have people who call themselves, the GOAT, and we know that GOAT doesn't mean the animal that's akin to sheep. We know the GOAT is an acronym meaning greatest of all time, and this has been accepted amongst people nobody argues with this term. A rapper can come out and call himself, the GOAT, and no one will say, what does that mean? We now understand that, certain terms can be created and accepted, and you're going to see what I mean as we continue. I want you guys to understand that if you're going to challenge truth, it has to be looked in reality. With the Bible, we're not looking in reality, okay? So let's see. I didn't see anybody say anything significant on Facebook. So let me go to YouTube. I mean on YouTube. So let me go to Facebook and see if anybody's talking. Basically, I hope that Christians are coming into the room today. That's what I hope, guys. So I guess we'll see. If Christians are coming into the room today, that'll be awesome, because we're not looking at the big picture. And here's what sucks about Facebook is you can't go all the way back and look at the comments. So if I missed it, I just missed it. So let's just continue to get into it, guys. If I catch you, I'll definitely get with you. Okay, so comments like Anthony, comments like you're full of crap and you don't actually bring anything else with it, just a statement of insertion or assumption or insult. They don't work here, brother. Nobody here responds or cares about stuff like that. If you're going to say I'm full of crap, then you have to actually say the reason that I'm full of crap. Like, you know what I'm saying? What am I saying that is incorrect? Let's be logical. Let's be adults, right? Let's not just throw shoes at Trump. You understand? Let's say what we don't like about somebody. Let's put it out there. You understand? Because just throwing a shoe at Trump really ain't going to do anything. You understand? Let's expose why Kevin Wesley is full of crap. Let's be real, all right? So now let's look here. Let's talk about Jesus. Who is Jesus? What does Jesus represent? And who is Jesus to the world? I say, look at the big picture, right? So we said, look at the big picture. We're not going to look. We always say we're stuck in one book. We always read the Bible. Do y'all agree with that? We're always looking at the Bible, and we don't think that any other book can have foundational truth. We even say that other religions are fake, and we haven't read their books at all. A guy was telling me that Jesus is the only true God. And I asked him, what about the Bhagavad Gita? It says that Krishna is the true God. And he said, what's that? Of course you don't know what it is, because you were born here. If you were born in India, you wouldn't know what the Bible was potentially. You see what I'm saying? And so the only fact that the only reason that you believe in the Bible is that's the only book that you have. And if you transfer from I don't know how people convert from religion to religion, because you left one religion that you didn't have proof in, and then you subscribe to another one that you didn't have proof in. But maybe you didn't exercise your brain faculty and didn't consider it that you needed proof. Maybe you were still thinking that it was all by faith and that's all that mattered. You know what I mean? So Monique, you'll be able to come back to it, because trust me, you ain't gonna want to miss this live. Trust me. I'm doing this because tomorrow it's supposed to be a new year coming. Of course, Father Time's new year has us in a matrix. I told you guys a while ago, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day is 666. We believe time starts back over tomorrow. We believe we're in a loop. You understand? People are making New Year's resolutions about tomorrow. Give me some hearts if y'all feel me. People are making New Year's resolutions about tomorrow as if tomorrow is the start of something new, anew, right? A new year, right? Why is it new? Because tomorrow is the first, as opposed to what? Listen, guys, days don't repeat, weeks don't repeat. We break our weeks down into 7 days for geographical purposes, understanding where we are in time, not because it's true. You understand? The same thing, we break our years down into 12 months. There's not 364 days in a year. No calendar maker would agree with this. You understand what I'm saying? So this is not a new year coming. So we can start and become a new person right now, today. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. Do you understand that? We don't have to wait until tomorrow to become a new person. We're only saying that we are starting a new tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new year because we're stuck in a Gregorian calendar. You understand? 666, Father Time, right? And who is the son of Father Time? Zeus is. And when you say Jesus' name in Spanish, you're saying Jesus, which is Hail Zeus, the son of God, the son of the God of lightning, right? And this is what you're saying. Again, right, Tiara. Time is infinite, but we think we broke time down to segments. We tried to break time down only by mapping the sun. We tell you it's 2 o'clock, or we really just saying this is what the sun is at this moment. I wish we really understood how much we do with the sun. Horizon comes from Horus. Horus's zone. Horus's zone. Horizon. That's what you're saying when you say the horizon. The sun, the horizon is the zone of Horus. Do you understand that? Hours, if you change two letters, it's Horus. You're saying, where is Horus right now? What is the hour right now? This is esoteric knowledge. This is stuff that was before you had your Bible. People were using this terminology and this understanding before you had a Bible. Do you understand? They were referring to the sun as Horus, what we call hours now. You understand? This is absolutely facts. Now you can look this up through esoteric knowledge. This is why I'm saying that, or through astrotheology, if you want terms to be able to look this stuff up. But I'm saying, if you're just looking at the Bible and you're not measuring that with reality, you're going to do nothing but go way off. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to miss some comments for a moment because I'm going to come back so you guys can see me, because we're about to get into it. Okay, so now we're talking about the sun and how, of course, the horizon is Horus's zone. Ours is an anagram for Horus. Flip 2 letters around. Santa is an anagram for Satan, right? Satan comes from Saturn, right? We know this. Saturn, the planet, is called El. Your God of the Bible is called El. Like this is all esoteric knowledge. When you ask who is your God, you're going to say El, Elohim, right? Because he elevates you. He is in the elite. This is why an elephant is called an elephant, because it's a large animal. It's the god of the animals. It's El, elephant. Ganesh, a god, is represented by an elephant. You understand? Elohim. We know this, right? This is why whenever you go up, you get on the elevator. Your kundalini energy wants to rise, wants to elevate. You understand what I'm saying? So God is El, Saturn is El, Satan is Saturn, Santa is Satan. Now, how is that? How is Santa Satan? Is that evil? Absolutely not. El is your mind. Saturn, the ring around your Saturn, all these things are coincide with consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? So watch this. Santa Claus, sacred claustrum. The claustrum in your brain is where you get Santa Claus from. Because it secretes oil. Secrete. That's where we get the word secret from, right? The secret oil, or the claustrum oil. Santa Claus is said to go down the chimney and bear gifts. This is what happens. Your kundalini energy comes down or up your chimney to bring you gifts, right? I really hope you guys understand. This is why Santa is in red, because when he comes down your chimney into your fireplace, your hell, your pit, he is red. You understand? This is why Satan is red, because the kundalini energy that is these two, they rest in your lower chakra, which is red. Do you understand this? As your chakra rises, it turns colors, as in the 7 color spectrums. 7 color spectrums. The highest color spectrum being ultraviolet or purple, because it bounces off quicker, which creates a purple color to us. Crown royal. Purple means royalty. You understand what I'm saying? So hang on, it's getting hot in here. Crown means royalty, guys, or royalty is purple. This is why you see Jesus depicted with wearing a purple sash. You understand? This is why people wore purple to emulate who they were and where they came from, and that they were royalty. You understand what I'm saying? So when you rise to the highest level of consciousness of royalty, which is why Jesus is royalty, right? And all these gods are considered royalty or kings. They live in mansions because that's where royalty lives, right? The mansion or the temple that's not made of hands. Listen, if you want to argue with this, if you are a Bible thumper, where is the kingdom of heaven? Is it within or without? What does the Bible say if you want to argue with that? It says the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Within you. Within you. Is it without you? Why are y'all praying out? Why are y'all praying out? Because you were taught to understand that the Bible was literal. Listen, we're about to go into what you believe is a new year. So in honor of that, I want you to go into this new year with a slightly bigger picture. We're all looking at religion through a keyhole. You look or through your mound as an ant. And if an ant is looking at the world through its mound, it'll never be able to define the earth. You got to come out of your mound. You got to come out of that little hole that they put you in. You understand? You will never be able to see the whole world and understand the cosmos through a peephole, through a small understanding. This is representation of your consciousness. Do you know more than you don't know? You don't. Any person on this live would admit that they know less than what they know. There is a larger amount of things that you don't know than there is that you do know. So why walk around with your chest stuck out based off what you know? You should walk around humble and base yourself off of what you don't know, and consider yourself ignorant, an ignorant person that is an observer learning the world. Because if you walk out of your house and you think, and you're confident thinking you know something, then you truly are ignorant. Because an intelligent person knows that they know nothing.
You have to look at the big picture before you make a decision. If you just walked in the room and saw two people yelling, and then you say the person that's raising his voice or the biggest person is the bully, you would be making an assumption that you weren't there all the way for. You didn't see the little guy get up and smack the big guy first several times, and the big guy warned him to stop, and then he pushed him to the edge, and now the big guy is angry. When you see that guy run up and punch that stranger for no reason, you didn't see that guy do something to his daughter. You didn't see that guy break into his house and steal something or do something real disrespectful to his wife. You just saw the guy run up and hit him, and now that's the criminal. He assaulted this guy, and you don't even care why. You're only going from what you see. So understand that people existed before us. There's a long stream of time that is before us, way more than 12,000 years that the Bible said the earth existed. So if you're going to understand where you are now, you have to be able to understand history too, so you can look at it with an open mind. Do you understand that? You can't talk about the whole picture if you haven't seen the whole picture. So if you come into the conclusion that Jesus is a fact and you haven't read any other book, that's what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. I did not. I don't have headphones in. I'm gonna try something. Can you hear me better now? Please. Oh, I didn't actually change anything. I thought it could have been the way I was holding it. No, I didn't. Okay, I got you. Cool. All right, guys. It did pop up on my phone and said that the Wi-Fi quality was low, so it could have changed because of that. But that's what it said it was. It popped up and said internet low. I guess I'm just sitting in this spot, but you know how it changes periodically. Okay, cool. All right, so I said all that to say, let's look at the big picture of who Jesus is and not just look at the Bible. Looking at the Bible, you're going to say that, well, you can look at the Bible and see that Jesus does not exist. You can look at the Bible and see that he isn't the Son of God. You're going to see what you were taught to see, though, when you read the Bible. You're going to read it like they told you to read it. So let's come all the way out of the book and let's just see who Jesus is, because we know that there were characters. Whether or not you want to say they have anything to do with Jesus, but there were other people in history that were looked upon and reverenced and marveled at, such as the character Jesus, right? Ricky, am I lying? We know that there are characters who were looked at as opposed to Jesus. Dionysus, Horus, the list goes on. I don't even want to start naming a whole bunch of names because I'll go on forever, right? We know that there are a lot of esoteric or symbolic gods that other people thought were real and worshiped throughout time, right? So let's just make this clear. Superheroes are superheroes. Gods are gods. So if I say superhero, you're going to think Incredible Hulk, Wolverine, right? All these Superman. We're going to think Goku. Superheroes. If I say a god, I'm literally referring to people that were worshipped once in history. So when I say Zeus, Dionysus, Hermes, Hercules, these were once as prevalent as Elohim is. So when they're called gods for a reason, because they were worshipped at one point, not because it's just not a term like superhero. So just understand that this is how many people were looked upon in this aspect, that they were important. So now let's see what's the point. Why were they all born of virgins? Why? Let's find out why they were born of virgins. Now, let's do this. Ricky, let's see here. Now, I'm going to be off camera for a second because I'm going to send my homeboy, Rick. I'm going to send my man a picture, and he's going to post a picture for you guys to look at for me, okay? And as we look through these pictures, we are going to, Rick, that's the first picture. I'm sending them to you in order, all right? So when I ask you to just change them, then you'll be able to change them from there. If you don't mind, you can go ahead and put the first one up. Oh, yeah. No problem at all, brother. That is no problem. Yeah, so guys, I'm gonna be loading these pictures up real quick, and that's actually why I was a little quiet. I wanted to get a few images in here so I can have Rick just go through them for me. Yeah, the very first one. We're gonna go in order from there. You already got it up or no? I can't. I'm not looking at it now. Still. Okay. No problem. All right, family. So now, while he's working on that image for me, why were they all born of virgins? Okay, what would Jesus? I'm on. Let's see, I got almost 300 people watching on Facebook. So Facebook wins today. YouTube, I love y'all. I'm gonna come back to y'all in a second. But if I leave Facebook, it takes away all of the comments. Yeah, born of a virgin. See, a lot of you guys already know this information. Y'all already saying it. Born of a virgin, all this good stuff. All right, cool. Hang on. Something that's all right is coming through mine. Hang on. Y'all there? Let's see here. I don't know why my car is playing what I'm saying back to me. I don't know how that happened. I'm trying to turn it off, but either which way is it? Let's see. All right, cool. I'm back. All right, guys. So, born of a virgin. Why was Jesus born of a virgin? So, born of a virgin, Virgo, virgin. These words are interchangeable. Etymology, the word virgin means Virgo. You understand? So, back in the day, a woman was called a Virgo, not a virgin. Okay, Virgo simply meant a woman who stayed home, did chores, and stuff like that. It didn't mean a woman who had never had sex. It meant a woman who was like a housewife, right? A Virgo, the woman who carried the child, stuff like that, right? So you got the image up, perfect. Okay, so that's what Virgo means, guys. If you type in etymology of Virgo, it'll tell you simply, or etymology of virgin, tracing the word virgin back, it'll tell you that it was Virgo. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Facebook so I can look at some of you guys' comments. Okay, so here we go. So you guys see the image or no? Make sure. Let me make sure, guys. I had to go back out and go back in and make sure we see this image. Okay, we do see the image. Perfect. All right. So you see this M. Jesus' mother's name was named Mary, right? Before that, it was Madonna. We hear this term, Madonna in child. Buddha's mother's name was Maya, right? Isis's mother's name was called Mashe. Notice this M. This is what I'm telling you. When you study astrotheology, you'll understand that Mary or Mare means dream. Okay, it literally means to dream. The inside of the mind, the fish that's being born is Jesus, is the God, right? Inside of your head is God or your pineal gland, right? Of course, Shondell, absolutely. See the M holding the fish. We all know that Jesus is represented by fish in this day and age. Now, we talk about the ages of the zodiacs, which are almost around 2,000-year periods in which the zodiacs change. So we went from Taurus to Pisces, of course, now to Aquarius, right? So Jesus represents the age of Pisces, and we see Jesus being used or symbolized as a fish being put on cars. Jesus walked on water. Jesus washed someone's feet with his hair. Jesus was nailed in his feet. Of course, I like to joke and say he was nailed in defeat, right? He was nailed in defeat. Before y'all ain't gonna get that. Man, he was nailed in defeat, right? I can't stop it, brother. You know what I mean? That mind is always working. But so Jesus is being carried by its mother, and we look at pictures of Jesus, and Mary is always holding Jesus. Of course, Madonna is holding Jesus. So you have Mary and Jesus right here depicted in Virgo. When is Virgo? Well, a while back in the Egyptian year, that was in late July, August, when Virgo was. This was their new year. Things started growing back out of nowhere. Hence, being born of a virgin. And the sun would come back into the atmosphere, into the zodiac of Virgo. This is when things would grow, right? So think about wheat and all these things just growing out of the ground. Next slide, if you don't mind, Rick. So just imagine things going out of the ground, right, for no reason. We would say, where is he coming from, right? Being born manna from heaven, right? Jesus is bread from heaven. He's manna, right? He's the manna. He's the man from heaven, manna from heaven, or bread from heaven, which means, what is this? Translates to, what is this? We don't even know what it is, right? Huh? The Virgo, I think it's the very next one. You just be going in order. All right, cool. All right, so of course, Jesus is born in Bethlehem, which means house of bread. Okay, Bethlehem means house of bread. Just look it up, guys. Okay, so when the sun would come back through this virgin or this Virgo and bring forth the bread in Bethlehem, Jesus is born in Bethlehem, house of bread. Okay, this is all esoteric. Okay, what does esoteric knowledge mean, Kevin? Because I don't want you to keep saying stuff and I don't know what it is, right? Esoteric. I'm type in Esoteric. Esoteric. This means secret knowledge or knowledge that is taught to the elite or special knowledge or knowledge that hidden knowledge. Absolutely, Papa the Master Student. Love it. Hidden knowledge. This is what esoteric means. So this knowledge is hidden from you. This is why you don't see it, because you never cared to know what Bethlehem means. See, the problem is the Bible says when you see with your eye closed, the dark eye, then your whole body becomes dark. You feel me on that? Okay, wow, this YouTube chat is growing. Awesome. Looks like you guys are recognizing that we own. Fantastic. So is Facebook. Cool. Yeah, so guys, so now that this knowledge has been hidden from you, you're now coming back into it. You're now going to understand that things have to be looked into. You can't just look at things with your natural eye and expect to see the big picture. The problem now is you're not using your eyes. You see what I'm saying? When you see that Jesus is born in Bethlehem, you think that's a real place and just move on from there without thinking that what does Bethlehem mean? You understand? And listen, philosophy, along with myth, has been tools to help us grow and evolve throughout history. Now, myth and story are good ways to teach lessons. But when were we taught myths and stories? Think about this. At what ages were we taught these myths and these stories? Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Jesus, Allah, all these myths and stories. When were we taught these? As children, right? And so when you understand in these stories as children, it's easy to misunderstand what these stories are saying. We take them as truth. We once believed that a man went down the chimney in every single house on the planet, even poor people's houses, who die of starvation. We once believed this. This is a story taught to you. Really, it's esoteric knowledge, but you're not going to see that. You're only going to see what you're told to see. You see what I'm saying? You're not looking with your actual eyes. What's up, bro? Jeremy McKinney. I grew up with that dude, man. He used to bully me in school, believe it or not. He was a wrestler, a lot bigger than me. He was a senior and I was a freshman. Jeremy, a lot of people don't understand when I tell them I wasn't popular in school. Now, I ain't going to say Jeremy bullied me. He never put his hands on me, but he used to try me, though. Say little slick stuff. I just ignored him, But turns out we ended up getting on the same page years later with this conscious stuff. Actually, we both was Christians together, too. After that, and both woke up nearly around the same time. He was somebody who would send me information when I was a Christian, and I wouldn't even listen to it for a while. So, and I think that a lot of the information that I teach now he's actually learned from me in a lot of ways. So it's amazing how that happens. That's why I say no candle loses its flame from lighting another. First he taught me, now I teach him. Now we teach each other. It's amazing, man. And we both go super hard on our posts till we don't play. But either which way, guys, let's get back to it, man. So we're looking at this virgin now bearing this sheaf of wheat. Let's see this. Go to the next slide for me. So we see the Virgo holding the sheaf of wheat who comes after Leo. Now, of course, Leo was the end of the year. Virgo was the beginning of the year, right? Now, we call January the beginning of the year. It doesn't make sense because everything is still dead. So that's according to our now geography and our Gregorian calendar. The elite that control this world now, they made the new year in January. Understand that. But it made more sense a long time ago. The new year was when things were new, right? Things were new, so therefore it was a new year. That made more sense. Right now, nothing really changes from today and tomorrow, guys, right? And then before that, before it was January, the new year was actually in March. That's why Aries is actually the start of the actual zodiac. Aries is the beginning. Look at the head. Aries is represented by a lamb. Now, we've always asked, or ram, we've always asked who is Jesus, who is God, and we know that Jesus is the Lamb of God, right? We know that Jesus, or we call Pharaoh's Ramesses, right, with the RAM, right? Not Moses, but Abraham was called Abram, right? Abram. We call these Abrahamic religions, right? So Abram religion, of course, would have a ram, Abram, Abba father, right? Ab before the first one, the beginning. That's why you call God Ab, right? Ab, first ram. So God is the first top ram, right? Abraham, most Abraham, his lineage and tribe, being the Abrahamic religions, and these people came after him, right? So Aries is at the top of the head. Once your Kundalini energy or your serpent energy reaches your Aries,
the royal crown, the heavens, right? You are now enlightened. That is the whole goal, to be enlightened. You feel me? And so this is why these things are said, not that they're true. You understand? This is esoteric knowledge. So let's look at the stomach. Notice the stomach is Virgo. This is why Jesus was born of a virgin, guys. Your stomach, the Virgo, I'm born under Virgo zodiac. So my characteristics based on the Virgo is I'm intuitive, right? I'm very smart. I pay attention. I stay focused, right? I'm humble. I'm wise beyond my years. These are all Virgo type. If you know a Virgo attribute, type it in. If you're a Virgo, what does it not say these things about the Virgo, right? And that's why the stomach is used to represent the Virgo. What does the stomach do? It breaks down information and data and sends it throughout the body. Whenever you take in food, right, your stomach is what breaks down that information. You see what I'm saying? And replenishes your body and gives it back to certain places. This is exactly what Jesus did in the Bible. He broke down things that couldn't be understood and gave it back to people in small bites so they could absolutely absorb it and use it. This is what your stomach does. Right, astrotheology, absolutely, Eric Plot. Since Eric know this stuff too, y'all, so Eric, comment often, bro, because I know that you know this stuff. I want you to tell me when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are on this thing, they're new to this stuff. We're doing by the new year, symbolically, because we believe this is a new year, we're going to go into the new year with a wider view and perspective on who is God, who is Jesus to Kevin. I get asked this all the time. So we're looking at the bigger picture to try to find out who these characters are, right? So look at the stomach. Jesus is born of a virgin. Where do babies begin? Their biological anatomy begins in the stomach. The body of a baby starts off in the stomach of that woman, does it not? Born of a virgin. This is where the body of the actual organism that is a baby, the meat bag, this is where it begins to be developed inside the stomach. Jesus is born of a virgin. You understand? The house of bread. Where does your bread go when you eat it? To your stomach, and then then your stomach breaks this bread down and uses it as energy, proteins, and things like that throughout your body. Jesus spoke in parables. Jesus was the stomach. He is the bread. He's the bread from heaven. So he teaches. He takes what nobody really understands that is displayed in large sections, like when you eat food, and then he breaks that info, like what I'm doing now as a Virgo. I'm doing exactly what a Virgo does by description of a Virgo, which is to break down. Like I see the world as from a perspective that is larger than most. And so many people come to listen to the things that I say and hear my insight simply because of how I see the world. Look up what Virgo means and see that it's not just describe the Virgo as this character. This is who Jesus was, guys. You feel me? So you guys can yeah, absolutely. Hitting the bread basket is your stomach. Getting hit in the bread basket. And why can't we see this, y'all? Why can we not see this? You understand? And so this now, go to the next slide for me, brother. Now, hang on. Don't go to the next slide yet. Let's continue to look at the body. Look at the body. Head is Aries, okay? The head is Aries, which is the top. Jesus, who was sent down to be the Son of God, is in the stomach, directly below the head, right? Directly below the head, right? Now, what's directly below that? Your feet. Pisces, right? Now, I'm just talking about if you're standing up, directly in order is your head, chest, stomach, knees, feet, right? Now, your feet is represented by Pisces. Jesus walked on water. There are two fish. Jesus found two fishermen and made them his first disciples. He said to these two fishermen, "Follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men." In fact, Jesus didn't pay his taxes. And then he was supposed to pay his taxes because he was confronted about it. And guess what Jesus said? Jesus said, go fishing and you will find a fish. Look in this fish's mouth and you will find 2 gold coins. Go pay my taxes and go pay your taxes too. Now watch this. If Jesus really existed, why would that story be told? Why wouldn't Jesus just give the dude the gold? Jesus has magical powers, right? So he's going to send this man all the way to go on a fishing trip to pay this man's taxes. Why did he use fish? Why? Why did Jesus speak in parables about fish, right? Suppose there's a fisherman looking for fish, right? And
Jesus, right? His right hand, right? The right side of your brain is all about belief, talent, charisma, right? The right side of your brain. Jesus is at the right side, right? At the right side of God, the right side of your pineal gland. It's Jesus, right? That belief, the faith or believing in yourself, right? Jesus said, get 2 coins and go pay it for me. Jesus also said, when you cast this net on the right side of the boat, the fish that are pulled up that are not good will be burned, and the fish that are good will be taken back with the fishermen. This is exactly what religion tells you. The fisherman is going to come back one day, and the fish that are deemed bad fish will go to the fire. Jesus says the fish that are bad will be burned, and then the good fish will be taken up and go back with the fishermen. Now, Jesus didn't say this. He's attributed for saying this in the literature that we call the Bible. Jesus never said this. You understand? So understand this is esoteric knowledge. Now, what was Jesus trying to say? He was trying to say that he was Pisces, right? And understand that whenever the fish is deformed, it goes to the fire. But what happens to the fish? What happens to the fish that were healthy? Do they not go to the oven as well? So you guys can't hear. Let me know if you guys can hear. I'm probably killing them too hard. They done got mad at me. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Huh? Let's do this. Let me probably try to drive to a better place real quick. You said what now? Absolutely. Can I hear you too? Oh, okay, guys. Okay, so Ricky was just informing me that, of course, as the Wi-Fi or whatever fluctuates, that the sound quality is changing due to that. Don't worry. You probably hear a little bit of air now. I had the wind crack, man, because it's getting hot in this car. But I'm just going to go down the street a little bit, guys, see if we can't get a little bit more clear. Go from there. Let's see here. All right, so I'm about to be parking, guys. No worries. So, of course, we're talking about Jesus being a fisherman, Jesus walking on water, right? Jesus. Yeah, it is. I must see. Okay, cool, perfect. All right, so you guys can hear me really well? Let me know. Okay, fantastic. All right, cool. I'm good. I should be good now. All right, so let's see here. All right, so let's get back into it, guys. We're gonna start back right where we were. We were looking at the feet of Jesus, right? People sit at his feet, right? We talk about. Okay, cool, Stefan. What's up? All right, so we're looking at the feet of Jesus now. Now, Capricorn, of course, it represents the knees. Now, we talk about Jesus, they were going to break Jesus' legs or whatever, but they didn't have to, right? Now, the Capricorn is represented by a broken-legged animal. Now, I want you guys to understand something. Now, why would the Bible speak about breaking Jesus' bones? Why is that important if they said not a bone was broken? Because normally they would, according to the literature, when someone was being crucified, they would have to gasp and come up for air, right? And it was actually prolonging their life, right? Now, it caused them to be tortured, of course. Their lungs would fill up with blood and things like that. They'd have to come up and press up with their knees to be able to gasp for air, right? Now, they never had to break the knees of Jesus because Jesus says it is finished and just gave his life up, right? Just gave his life up. So they didn't have to break his legs. Why would this be mentioned in the Bible? Why is this important, family? Just think about this. If the Bible really happened in real life, why is it so much on point with Zodiac? Why does the Capricorn have a broken leg? Why is it the wounded one? Why? It's because Satan represents the Capricorn, and he is the wounded one. He was the one that was cast down to earth, breaking his leg. This is the Capricorn for you. This is why Jesus goes to hell after he's kissed by the scorpion, and then Sagittarius puts him on the cross. You understand? Jesus goes to hell for 3 days and takes from Satan the keys to death, hell, and the grave, right? 3 days. 3 days. Why 3 days? We're going to get into that too, right? Who is Jesus, man? Why does he go to hell for 3 days and battle with the Capricorn? To come out of the Capricorn with the keys to death, hell, and the grave. Why? Okay, so some people saying the sound was better before I moved the call. Let me know if you guys are okay with what you're hearing now. Let me know if it's okay for me not to move. If it isn't okay, I will move again. If we're good, I'll stay. Let me know. I'll pause for a moment. Got you. Okay. Let's see. I'll make another attempt at it too. Now I'll keep going, guys, while we're going. Raymond says Jesus is God. That is a perspective. Where does that perspective come from, Raymond? Does it come from careful study? Does it come from weighing that out throughout history and reality, or just being that you were taught that as a child and you want to believe that? You've never met Jesus in your life, yet you would declare that he's God. Another person you never met in your life, another made-up word. To say that they are each other is ridiculous when you've never met, saw either one of them. It's crazy because it's like if I had never saw an image of Wolverine, I would never argue who Wolverine is, what he looks like, or anything like that. But we do this with Jesus. We've never had an image of this character other than what men gave us. And then we argue about how he looked, right? We argue about what he was like. And then we argue about the image of God. How can you have an image of something that is supposed to be invisible? You understand what I'm saying? So all these things come from by the way you were taught, not from truth. So of course we can say out loud, Jesus is God, but what supports that, So this what I'm talking about can be found throughout history. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying about, these other gods and why they were born of a virgin, I'm not just talking about Jesus. I'm telling you why Dionysus was born of a virgin and why he turned water into wine. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit because Jesus also is attributed for what? Turning water into wine. But why? Right? Why do these gods have the same things? Is it just copied from literature, or does it mean something? Are we just going to say every person who wrote a book that symbolizes or that has a lot of similarity with Jesus, are we going to say that they were plagiarists, or are we going to understand that even right now in our world today, we do the same thing with characters and esoteric knowledge? So that's why they call Hollywood Hollywood. Hollywood is what they make magic wands out of. What is a film? When we say a film is a movie, I say a film is something that tracks your brain, right? If you were to cut open your head is right now surrounded by a film, right? A really thin tissue membrane that is a film around your brain, right? So this is exactly what spells do. They put a film on your brain. You can't think outside of your brain because you got a film on it, right? Because someone has told you that Jesus existed. They have fed you now a false film. You feel me? So let's get back into it, guys. So Jesus is judged, right? Jesus is judged right after he's kissed by scorpion. Now, Jesus gets judged right after he's kissed by the scorpion who reveals him, or kissed by Judas, right? Now, the scorpion has a back tail that bites you, and when it bites you, it looks like a stinger, right? I mean, it looks like a kiss. Hence, the kiss of Judas, right? Judas kissed Jesus, which means he backbit him. You ever heard Judas called a backbiter or a backstabber? It's because he bites you with his back tail. You understand that? And it looks like a kiss. Judas kisses Jesus, then he's sent to Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate judges Jesus and can't find anything wrong with Jesus. You understand? So once he judges Jesus and can't find anything wrong, from there, Jesus has to go ahead and be crucified because the people demanded it, right? So now that the people demanded it, now it's a big deal. We have to make this happen. I went back on camera. Can you guys see me? I'm not sure. Okay, great. All right, so Judas kisses Jesus. Jesus goes to be judged. Right after that, he's killed. This brings about Sagittarius. The Sagittarius logo is an upside-down cross, right? Sagittarius speaks from the heart. He aims from the heart, right? You understand? So Sagittarius puts Jesus on the cross. Very next after that is Capricorn. Capricorn, he goes to hell for 3 days, comes back out. So this is esoteric knowledge. Let's go back to the photo now. Now, did we change the photo? Did we go back? It was still the zodiac body. We went back to Virgo. Looked like. All right, cool. All right, so we're looking at the body, of course. The legs represent Gemini, being two. You know, the testicles represent, of course, the Scorpion. You know what I mean? The shoulders represent Taurus, and the shoulders and neck represent Taurus. You know, the arms. The arms represent Gemini, the twins, of course. So yeah, there we go. So now we're gonna move on to the next one. If you don't mind, Ricky, let's put that next one in. Yeah. All right, family. So as we get into this stuff, I want you to look at the colors of the chakras. Don't just look at it with your eyes and ignore it. Ignore what you're seeing, you know, and just say, well, this is the chakra lineup. You know, I want you to actually look at it this time. We've seen this over and over in, of course, a lot of Buddhist cultures. A lot of, yoga facilities will have this. Of course, if you understand Egyptian knowledge and ancient knowledge, you've seen this. But let's just look at the colors first, okay? Let's start from the top. We notice at the top you see these big wings flaring out, right? Jesus is represented by a dove, but only when he's anointed. Only when he hits anointing does this dove descend on Jesus. Horus is represented by a golden falcon. Now look here, Jesus is a dove. Horus is also a bird, a golden falcon. Notice these golden wings up top. Now a lot of people see those wings and recognize those wings instantly as being the wings of Ma'at, right? But let's not even go there. Let's look at the first color. See that big old chakra right there? It's in purple. Your crown chakra, crown royal, right? Your crown. Now, it flares out just like an Indian headpiece because it's a burst of energy. Indians wear this headpiece, this head garment to symbolize awakening Kundalini energy. It's a head burst, a sunburst of energy that flows through the pineal gland, right? When that pineal gland starts secreting all of the different chemicals that it's supposed to secrete, there is an explosion of enlightenment that goes on. That's why this is called your crown chakra. This is why kings wear crowns, and those crowns flare out just like sun rays, just like sharp. Thank you very much for the donation, Sean. If anybody else donated, thank you so much. I can't see it because I'm going in, but actions speak louder than words. You know you're very much appreciated. Join Kevin West, the group, if you're traveling too. Okay, so I'm trying to keep this all about this information so we can get through it and you guys can have a wider perspective on who Jesus is, where this stuff comes from, okay? So as you see, the crown is represented by purple. Why? I told you earlier, the highest color spectrum is purple, ultraviolet rays, okay? Now as we go down, the throat chakra is blue, the heart chakra is green, the sacral chakra is yellow, and it continues to go down to, of course, the lower chakra, which is the red, right? Now, infrared, the lowest chakra, infrared is the lowest color spectrum that's out there, and it cannot be seen with the human eye. Thus, it's called infrared. Now, the same thing with ultraviolet, from violet to ultraviolet. Ultraviolet can't be seen with the human eyes, but it can be measured with technology. So this color spectrum does exist, although we can't see it with our eyes. Now, the crazy thing about this is they knew this way back then without the technology that we have today. So this is why this stuff is amazing. And they knew this stuff all before we ever talked about a Jesus or anything like that. Okay? So now you see colors have meaning. Satan is red because Satan is in hell, your lower chakra. Look at the body. What is that color right around the sexual organs? Is that not red? Sodom and Gomorrah represents the lower chakra. That's why they were all about desire, sex, power, and money. They were corrupt, right? Because they were in their lower chakra. The whole point is to bring you out of your lower chakra. What does the fluids that come from this lower place taste like? Salty, doesn't it? Right? In our bloodstream, we have salt that rises to the surface of our skin whenever we sweat or excrete any fluid for that matter. Right? So when we excrete fluids from our sexual organs, does it not taste like salt? What happened to Lot's wife when she looked back, leaving the place of the lower chakra? She looked back at the place with the lower chakra, right? Because she didn't, I guess, want to leave. And what happened to her? She was turned to a pillar of salt. This is all teaching you about your anatomy, your biology. It has nothing to do with being real and factual in humanity and reality. Does this not make more sense? Why would a God turn somebody to salt for looking back? But this makes more sense. You're trying to teach me something, right? So if I climb that mountain, those 33 vertebrae, I can go from heaven to hell. Jesus was in hell for how long? 3 days. 3 days. Jesus died at what age? 33. 33 vertebrae between the lower chakra and the highest chakra. Isn't that something? That there's literally 33 vertebrae in your spine from your lower chakra to your highest chakra. What does that mean to you? Now, is it easier to believe that a man named Jesus disappears from 12, was revealed to us at 30, 3 again, 30, 3 0, 3 again, okay, and died at 33? What would be the point of hiding this man's whole story from 12 or 13? It's funny that they hid him at the age 13, which is funny, because Jesus is the 13th. 13 on any elevator in any building is not going to be a floor you can go on. 13th, the Friday the 13th, right? 13 ghosts. Think about all the movies that have the term 13 that's supposed to be given to you in a negative way. 1-3, 13. Jesus disappears at 13, isn't seen again until 33, 13-3. 33, he dies at 33, right? And it's 33 vertebrae between the base of your spine and the top of your crown chakra. Now, come on now. Do we believe that Jesus really disappeared at 13, showed back up at 30, died at 33? Really? Or do we believe that 33 levels of masonry, the freezing temperature on the thermometer created by masonry, on masons, is 33 degrees. That's the freezing temperature. Are we really going to believe that a man named Jesus died at 33, that Horus died at 33, that all these people died at 33? Or are we going to see, you said, how do you donate on Facebook? You can actually, I have a GoFundMe as well on Facebook too, also, but I have all of my donation information in this video in the top, so you go there. All right. So 13th, right, the 13th floor, absolutely. Jesus disappears at 13. They removed the 13th zodiac from the Western zodiac, which was Ophiuchus, the snake bearer. Now, I'm telling you guys, you're going to be blown away. Ophiuchus is the African 13th zodiac, 13. He's the son of Ophiuchus, okay? He's born October the 8th. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry, November the 8th, forgive me. December the 8th, forgive me. He's born December the 8th, and that puts him in Ophiuchus. The African zodiac has 13 zodiacs, not 12. We've dialed it down to 12. So if you look at your African zodiacs, many of your zodiac would change. In the Western zodiac, I'm a Virgo. In the African zodiac, I become a Leo. You understand? And Leo is the person who's ruled by the sun, right? My ruling planet would be the sun. And actually, when you look at the attributes of a Leo based on the 13 zodiacs from African zodiacs, it actually makes more sense. Right, Shaquille? Keep on talking, y'all, because some of these things will slip my mind. Notice I'm not reading, I'm just talking. All this stuff is in me just from studying over the years. So I'm just really just talking. There's really no layout to this lecture. Understand? So Shaquille says, just like the 12 tribes of Israel, 12 zodiac signs. 144,000 is 12 multiplied by 12, right? We understand this, right? We understand this stuff, right? So 144,000 animals were destroyed to forgive Solomon, Sol, Man, which means son, son, son. Son, soul, S-O-L, we call our bodies, the spirit that lives in our body right now, a soul. We add a U to it, right? But soul, Solomon, when we doing energy or meditating, we go, right? Ohms. When you're saying your ohms, you're saying your prayers, your internal teachings to yourself, your ohms, which is done, meditation is done to raise your energy. Ohms, and then on. On was called to the sun. As when you switch a light on, the light comes on. The sun is on, right? Saul on had to be forgiven from his worship of false gods by burning 144,000 animals. Do we believe this really happened, or that is esoteric knowledge based on the derivatives of 12? Come on, y'all. Think about this. So we're looking at the sacral chakra or the lower chakra, climbing all the way up from being at your lowest point, from all you care about is desire, power, selfishness, and now you're going to rise to the point of being enlightened, being on another level, being Christ consciousness, being Christ conscious, not being Jesus. Christ is a title that means the anointed one, or the anointed with oil. Remember when you were a child, or even in church, when they would put oil on your head? That energy that is secreted from your lower chakra to your highest chakra is called the heavenly oil. It is the oil on the inside of your head. The oil that you put on the outside of your head is only symbolic of the oil that goes inside of your head. You understand? Do you understand? Absolutely, Roy Carter. Even my vehicle makes the ohm sound when it's in idle, right? Funny, man. Michael said, don't teach this. All right, so guys, we're looking at this. We're looking at that lower sacral chakra. As your serpent energy, notice the serpent was in the garden giving knowledge. As your serpent energy, or kundalini energy, which means the serpent, climbs up your body, it reaches your crown chakra and becomes enlightened. Next slide, please, if you don't mind, bro. So now that we understand that colors mean something, symbolically, because I heard someone say color belongs to nature. They don't mean anything in terms of gender, feminine, or anything. Things can grow pink in nature, green in nature. We can't say that nature is intending anything by having green grass, right? We can't say that that's by intent of nature. But what man has done is taken colors and made them mean something, just like we've taken words and made them mean something. You understand? So we're trying to define colors based on what man has said they mean. So we're looking at the color spectrum based on the chakra system, and I'm showing you what this means, all right, based on the energy separation of parts of energy in your body. And notice that there are 7 of them. Notice that there are 7 C's. You understand what I'm saying? Now look at this, guys. Serpent, the Nakash. Reading the Bible, the shining one, or the serpent, was called the Nakash, or the whisperer. This is why it's notice the Bible. Now, if you look at the earliest writings of the Bible, it never says serpent. It was translated to serpent. The word was Nakash, which means whisperer, right? Now, snakes hiss, right? So this is why we made it a snake, of course. Well, we didn't make it a snake because it hiss. We made it a Nakash because we copied from the walls of Egypt the serpents that already give you insight. That's the serpentine or kundalini energy that serpentines up your body back and forth to reach your highest level of consciousness, or your purple chakra, right? So we already been using the serpent long before we got the Bible. But so now we're going to take this Nakash and say, okay, Nakash means serpent, right? Or the shining one. Lucifer is the angel of light. Now, a while ago, I told you guys that El means God. Angel is a derivative of God, an ang of God, an ang of El. This is why God is surrounded by angels, right? You understand it? These are, angel is the word, it's 2 words. Just like doghouse. But see, you weren't born at the time of this understanding. You came in way after angel was 2 words. See, now you understand that dog is 2 words, because they taught you that in school when they taught you how to combine words to build bigger words. But angel, and most words, guys, are 2 and 3 words put together, 4 words. When you have words that are made up of multiple syllables, you can break these words down to each syllable each word having a root word, and then the rest of that word coming from another word. This is how words were made. Please tell me y'all understand this. Okay? So Lucifer having wings, just like Jesus, okay, just like Horus, he's the same as these people. That's why I say Saturn is Satan. Saturn is also El. You understand? They're the same character. Good and evil, God and the devil all live inside of you. The kingdom is inside of you, right? Go to the next slide for me if you don't mind, Rick. So you're going to see how we use this information all across the board to do this stuff, and it's accepted as truth and fact in the Bible. But then when we look at it in reality, see it on our TVs, hear about it, we just write it off. But why? We 100% believe in the literature that we were given as children, but we want to write this stuff off. You see what I'm saying? To me, that's crazy. We shouldn't do that. I think I know why my sound is messing up. I think I know. It's my, what's the name? Hang on. Boom. My sound should get better. Let me know, guys. Sound should pick up here soon. Let's see, let me get the other slide. Okay, here we go. Now, notice that. What are they doing, guys? What are they doing here? Yeah, y'all said much better. Cool. All right, so what are they doing here, guys? Worshiping a serpent? Is that what they're doing here? Wow, look at this image now. I told you guys the Kundalini is Jesus, the serpent that goes up your body to reach your pineal gland, that is crucified in Calvary, which means the place of the skull. Notice this serpent on a cross. Why is this serpent on a cross being worshipped by these people? That's Jesus, y'all. This is what I'm telling you. This was accepted by man to put a man on the cross instead of this serpent. Jesus is that serpent. Jesus is Kundalini energy, or the wisdom of God, right? The serpent. Do you see this? Next slide, if you don't mind. Right reign. That's why we need to visit command. This information is right there, guys. And of course, cross comes from crux, which is the zodiac again. The god or the sun is on a cross or crux during the winter solstice, a cross. So now you have the serpent being depicted here as a cross because Jesus represents the serpent. Let me get that next slide, Ricky, if you can get it. So here we have this serpent. Now we know Moses put a serpent on a staff, right? Whenever he went whenever he took the Israelites to the mountain and they heard the sound of God so strongly, they complained to make it stop. And God had to shield them from his voice. Now, why would Moses make a bronze serpent? Why would he make that? Please tell me the significance of Moses making a bronze serpent and taking people to the bottom of a mountain. Understand this. In esoteric knowledge, when you hear the word stone or mountain, it is referring to your head. Your head is a stone. The mountain is your head. You understand? This is why it's used as a mountain, the mount, because your head is the peak, is the mount. Now, they took, Moses takes the serpent, the bronze serpent takes the Israelites to the mount with this bronze serpent, and they hear the voice of God so strongly that they can't take it. And now all of a sudden, they don't want to hear the voice of God no more. Now, that should make you ask a question about all these preachers saying they heard from God, about all these people saying they heard from God. In the Bible, when you heard from God, it was so traumatic you couldn't even handle it, and you would ask for it to stop. But right now, we have prophets in church acting like they hear from God, and they talking normal, as if the hearing is okay, it's coming in clearly. No, this is good. This is good. We're good. I was just still talking about Moses. Looks like the slide got changed. Did you expand it a little bit or something? Yes, that's why the serpent told Eve to eat the apple, because he was giving her knowledge. You understand? And not the apple, but the forbidden fruit, right? And we just use it and depict it as an apple. But the serpent told Adam and Eve to eat from the forbidden knowledge, the tree of knowledge. So the fruit was knowledge. It wasn't an apple.
right? So, and I know you probably know that, but we know it's depicted as an apple. But it was called the tree of knowledge, right? So now this serpent is going to enlighten Adam and Eve. Now look at this: Adam, Eve, the devil, called the serpent or Nakash. Now listen, I did not make this photo. This photo was already made in Google Images. So you can see I'm not making this stuff up. Someone else other than me has also understood this information. You see what I'm saying? So now we understand that the Nakash or the devil is the serpent, right? The serpent which gives information. The serpent told Eve that you're going to know the difference between good and evil. You're not going to be in God's paradigm anymore. You will now be able to think outside of the knowledge that God gave you, right? And you won't surely die, but you will actually be knowledgeable. And now, what happened? What happened? Did they die or did they get knowledge? They got exactly what Satan told them they would get. They realized they were naked in front of God. They tried to cover up. And then what did God do? Killed an innocent animal, which shows you how God thinks. He kills an innocent animal just to cover them. Now, we know that God's supposed to know everything. Mankind has found a way to make clothing from cotton, hemp, and many other things in nature that grow out of nature. We've even found a way to weave gold into garments, guys. But God couldn't do that. God didn't shave the sheep for wool, because we can use animals for clothing without killing them, right? He didn't shave the sheep for wool and give us clothing. He killed the dang sheep and gave us actual lamb skin. Think about this, guys. An all-knowing God who could have clothed them just by shaving the wool off of the sheep. He could have taken and used cotton. He could have taken and used hemp. He could have taken anything, any type of thing that grows in nature, and he could have created it out of thin air. You understand? We're talking about a God. So a man could have used, could have killed a sheep. A man could have shaved it and used its wool. A human man could have used cotton. A human man could have used hemp. But a God could have created anything and clothed them. Why were they naked to begin with? If God already knew they were naked, why would he wait until they know they're naked to give them clothes? Think about this stuff, guys. Absolutely. Thoth is a bird. Tahuti is a bird, right? Now watch this. Go to the next slide. You say, okay, Tim Bird, he killed the sheep because there is no remission for sin without a death. Says God. See, you see what I'm saying? You believe in a God that makes all the rules. So if there's no remission for sin, then that's God's rule. Do you understand that? To kill an animal to forgive you, that's a rule of God. So you can't say that he did it because of this. You haven't proven this person exists. We're looking at what's more logical here. That this is esoteric knowledge, because I can tell you why they killed a lamb. It's because God is representation of Aries, and Aries is a ram or a lamb. That's why he put a ram in the bush. This is why he told the Israelites to kill rams or sheep and put the blood over the door. You think you know why a sheep was killed, but that is not why a sheep was killed. You think it's the remission of sin. It's actually just symbology. This is why God continuously kills lamb, because he is a ram. You don't understand that. Here we go. This comes from of course, Revelations, where the woman is standing there. And notice up under her feet is the Nakash. She's surrounded by 12 cherubims or 12 angels, right? She's clothed with the stars, just like the image that we get in Revelation. Notice this garment on her has the stars on it. Notice the moon under her feet. Notice the light behind her. You know the scripture in the Bible where it declares that a serpent is going to eat a baby, right? A serpent is going to eat a baby, because the serpent is already in the actual lower part of your chakra system, right? The serpent eats the baby because the serpent is representation of Jesus, which is Jesus, and Jesus always battles with himself. Satan and Jesus is the son of the morning and the light bearer, and they argue and fight with each other. This battle is going on in the pit of your belly. Do you understand? This is not something that you're going to look out and see. And the Bible tells you that if you look into here or look into there for it to happen, you will never see it. The Bible says these things are not going to happen where they can be observed by everybody. They happen inside of you. They happen internally. No, listen, players. Let Tim Bird stay. That's why I'm doing this video. I want Christians on here. I don't mind their criticism. It doesn't bother me. Let them speak from their ignorance, and we'll speak from our knowledge and well thought out study. You understand what I'm saying? Trust me, they have no advantage. They can say whatever they want. We know they can't prove Jesus exists, but we can prove that Jesus was copied, right? So we know this, all right? So Jesus lives within you and by way of energy, and this is what we've always learned. Next slide, if you don't mind, Ricky. Now notice, 7 chakras, Kundalini energy climbing. Notice Goku, 7 Dragon Balls, and once the 7 Dragon Balls are found, what happens? The Shinran appears, or the heavenly Kundalini God who grants your wish, right? Is this not true? When they find the 7 Dragon Balls, who arises? Shinran. What does the number 7 mean? The Bible says completion. What if I told you Sept means separate? What if I told you Sept means separate? September was the 7th month as the year started in March. Sept means to separate. I told you words are put together for a reason. September is called it means to separate. That's why we separate the weeks into 7 days. It means to separate. 7 and separate go hand in hand, guys. So as soon as the Dragon Balls and Shinran is summoned and he grants the wish, what happens to the Dragon Balls? They separate again, don't they? And they have to be found again to bring Shinran back out. You guys don't understand why, like, Dragon Ball Z wasn't made from just the mind of someone. It's copied, guys. It's the same story given back to you in a different way. And we've been doing this stuff now. Here we go again with a woman in a garden, and this is clearly not the Adam and Eve scene, right? But why is it a woman in a garden? Look at this woman. Look at this snake. Does he not look like Shinran? Look how long he is, stretching from the top of the head all the way to the bottom of her feet. This is representation. This is not Eve. Look at Adam sleep on the ground, guys. So this is the Garden of Eden. Look at how differently it's depicted here. Adam on the ground, Eve being pulled from his rib, right? Being pulled from his rib. Why was Eve pulled from his rib? Is it because the X hormone or the X is different from the Y? If you look at an X, it's missing a leg from the center. X has 4 legs that come from the center. A Y has 3 legs that come from a center. The center is your rib, as your midsection is the center, right? Your midsection of your heart is called the mid-garden, the middle garden. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I just want to make sure you guys are with me, man. So Eve is pulled from his rib because the Y is missing 1 leg. If the Y would have had 1 more leg, it would be an X. The X chromosome is actually stronger or more complete than the Y. This is why women can feed you from their breast and their vagina, and they can have babies. Look this stuff up. See how Lisha typed it? Notice from the center point of that X, it has 4 legs. Notice from the center point of the Y, it has 3. The center point is the rib. This is why God pulled Eve from Adam's rib. Now, the woman is supposed to be by your side. You're not behind you. Are your ribs behind you, or are they on your side? You understand? So we try to put the woman behind us. The woman is beside you, man. But we flip this and say, because you was pulled from my rib, I'm better than you. No, you're stronger than me. I was incomplete. Listen, when God created light, he said it was good. When God created Adam, he said it was good. But then when he saw that Adam was alone, he said what? That is not good. So man without woman is not good. Do you not understand what this means? Woman is what makes man good. Without woman, man isn't good. Do you not understand this? This is what the Genesis is teaching you. But it's talking about genetics. It's not talking about God really doing surgery. If God can create Adam from nothing, why would he need to do surgery to create Eve? Think about it. Y'all believe this really happened. Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic in creating someone from dirt? And then having to do surgery to create a woman. Come on, y'all. I had a dude argue with me that women had more ribs than men. I said, dude, you can look it up right now and see we all got the same number of ribs. And he was going to, because he had made up in his mind that women having more ribs than men means that women having more ribs than men means that the Bible is real. He was unable to accept that we just had the same amount of ribs. And that's what I mean. Because you guys need your religion to be true, whatever ridiculous crap y'all accept to make it true, now y'all need that to be true. And you only came to that conclusion off of being taught that or just some ridiculous notion in your mind. And so now he needed women to have more ribs than men. As if, why would that make God real? People could have known that women had more ribs than men before and then made this story, because you can see bones, right? So we could have just been saying that God poured a rib from man, because we know we saw human anatomy, bones and skeletons long before we had a Bible. So we could have observed that women had more ribs than man, and then made the Bible off of that. But he needed women to have more ribs, and all you had to do was look it up. Right. Adam, Eve, or evolution, or electron, absolutely, being the meaning of these two words and where they come from. So again, next slide. So now we see how the Garden of Eden is depicted as esoteric right here. Right here, you see this golden snake. Right? Why is he gold? Why is the serpent gold? Why did Moses build a bronze snake and take them to the base of the mountain? Because bronze represents the lower chakra, and as your kundalini rises, it transforms. This is why the Bible says be transformed, because you're transferring one material into another. This is why heaven has gold on the streets, guys, because once you reach the highest level of consciousness, that bronze turns to gold. You understand? This is Jesus on the cross, y'all. Do you not see this? This is Jesus on the cross right here. Jesus on the cross, a capital T, a Tav, the last letter of the Hebraic alphabet. As Jesus said, he would be the Aleph and the Tav. We say he was the Alpha and Omega, but we know that's Greek. So if Jesus existed, we know he didn't know Greek. So he would have said, I am the Aleph and the Tav, which means the authority, which is the God. Also, I am the Tav, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is this capital T. And now you have a serpent being depicted here as being on a capital T, right? Just like Moses, when he set the staff down, it turned to a snake. You understand? Just like when you're looking at Kundalini energy, it is serpents climbing the staff. Just like right now, when you go to a hospital, what is the caduceus doing? It's two serpents climbing a staff, is it not? Now notice, I told you that Satan and Jesus both are serpents, are the same. There are two serpents in your body. That's why the Kundalini energy is represented by two serpents. Let's go to the next slide. So we want to know, who is Jesus in the reality of the world, not just in the Bible. Who is Jesus and all these other characters in the reality of the world? Who is God in the reality of the world, right? So we know God represents a sheep or a ram. We know that even Christians are called sheep. Jesus is called a shepherd to the sheep. You guys are called his flock, meaning the shepherd, a flock of sheep, right? We know this. We know when you go to sleep, you count sheep. All this stuff is synonymous. Sheep is one of the dumbest animals in the world. Sheep are used for every fabric of their being, whether it be clothes or for wool or whether we're eating them. They are consumed by the shepherd. The shepherd consumes the sheep, and yet sheep trust the shepherd, right? So Jesus says, come with me, I'm your shepherd. Why would a sheep go with the shepherd? The shepherd is not going to do anything but make money off of the sheep. He's going to do nothing but eat this sheep and sell its fur when it's cold and eat this sheep whenever he's hungry. That's what he's going to do with this sheep. Now, at the top of that Kundalini energy, we had two big wings, the wings of like Ma'at, right? Or the wings of the falcon, or the wings of the dove. Here we are again with a serpent, with a woman serpent, turned facing to the right, obviously, right? They're facing to the right because we read right to left or left to right, right? Instead of the other way around, is in the English way. So she's facing to the right, and you're supposed to start reading from the right side and go left instead of start left and go right, right? We read from left to right. When you see these images depicted, they're always looking to the right, meaning start from the right and go left. Don't go from the left and go right trying to understand esoteric knowledge or Kemetic symbolism or whatever, because you'll get it wrong. You'll probably be likely backwards. You understand? So start from right, go to left. Now see the big wings, and notice it's depicted in gold. This whole thing here is esoteric knowledge. Let's see the next slide. Kevin Davis just purchased something from the website. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that, Craig. Share it, guys. Share this video. Share it, man. You're going to want your Christian friends. Notice I'm not bashing Christians. I'm not saying anything bad, even about Jesus. When normally, I can get carried away because I'm not offended by anything that can be said about Jesus, But I want you guys to share this. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm only teaching information, so you don't got to worry. Just share it, guys. We want as many people to see this as possible. Here we go. Shinran, or the Kundalini, right there on the wall again. So we see this image has been used throughout history. The serpent is a really powerful image, guys, and we're going to see why. Let's keep going. Why are we using the serpent? Why is that important, right? Let's keep on going, Rick. Okay. So why is the serpent important? I want to see what you guys are saying. Answer that question if you don't mind. Why is the serpent important? If anybody else has done it to YouTube, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to leave Facebook as if I leave, I lose all the comments, and I will be going back and responding to y'all on YouTube as well. Matter of fact, let me just go check out YouTube real quick while y'all are commenting, because I want to see what you guys say. You guys on YouTube, y'all stay tuned. So I know you guys are going to probably have more of the right answers than newcomers coming in. So Juan Hood said, that's deep. That's why sheep are asleep. Absolutely. That's why you count sheep when you go to sleep. Little Bo Peep lost his sheep. Mary had a little lamb, right? It's so crazy how we use this stuff, right? And we're wondering, what does all this stuff mean, right? Why do we use these terms, you know? So here we go, Nakash again. Does that not look like Shenron, guys? It's long snake. Nakash. You good, you can keep going. Let's go to the next slide. I just wanted to show you guys as many pictures of this serpent as I could, so we can see that this means Kundalini. It doesn't mean an evil snake. It means Kundalini energy. In fact, whenever the Israelites were screaming at the sound of God, I think they had serpents biting at their feet, and they were complaining about the serpents biting at their feet, and still complaining about the sound of God being too loud and overpowering for them at the base of the mountain. Right? We're going to find out why Jesus has to go up a mountain before he dies, and why Abraham has to take his son up a mountain also before he gets exposed to the ram in the bush that's on top of the mountain, and how Jesus himself became the ram that was on top of the mountain, right? You're going to see how this stuff is not fact. It is not history. It is simply just esoteric information. It is simply just myth. It is an allegory. Yes, it represents the Kundalini, absolutely the true Elohim. So Jesus climbs, so the Kundalini climbs to your 33rd vertebrae, where it is crucified. Your Kundalini energy is crucified in your skull, which is Golgotha or Calvary, right? And we know that Jesus died on the third day. He went missing at 13. Third day 3. 13 3 is 1 3. 30 is 3 0. 33 is 3 and 3, right? And we know that the name I think Elohim is used 33 times in the Bible. Father, Son, Holy Spirit is 3, right? Let's see. What other 3s do you guys know of in the Bible? Because we know he's called the Trinity, which is 3, right? So we see this 3 over and over. And here is Moses with this serpent on the staff. Why is this important? Why would Moses be walking around with a serpent on the staff? Come on, y'all. Why? Why would Moses be walking around with a serpent on the staff, y'all? If this stuff was being done way before the Bible, where did Moses get this knowledge from? Where did Moses get this information from? Is it esoteric knowledge, or do we believe this really happened? Do we believe Moses really did this? Come on, y'all. Or do we understand that this is now esoteric knowledge, and that snake on that serpent is indicative of Hollywood, magic? It just means magic, guys. That's why Hollywood is called Hollywood. Look up what Hollywood means. What is Hollywood? What do you make from Hollywood? Magic wands, right? And that's what Hollywood does. They give you movies and films, and they put, they sprinkle esoteric knowledge with it. You know what I mean? So we know this. Let's go to the next one. Yes, sir. Now we've looked throughout Egypt, and we saw right in the center of their head dressings, you have this serpent, which is representation of the pineal gland, which literally no biologist and no scientist today would say doesn't exist. They will tell you that we all have this pineal gland in our mind, in our heads. Now, in our mind, meaning as an imagination, it's literally in your head, anatomy-wise. We have this pineal gland in our head. It's a fact. Now, watch this. Jesus of Nazareth. There is no locale called Nazareth. The word derives from the Egyptian Nazir. Remember, Naz is called Nazir, meaning the prince who is sent. From also Nasir, meaning Sirius. Sirius is the dog star, okay, which sits in Canis Major. Canis Lupus is called your dog. Canis Major is the geographical area of the zodiac in which Sirius Major or Sirius sits in. Sirius, the dog star, sits in Canis Major. We call dogs Canis lupus, okay? So Sirius. It is Jesus of Nazareth, Nasir, okay? Dog. Furthermore, the word carpenter, Jesus was a what? We know Jesus was a carpenter. So now, don't get mad now, right? It comes from the word nagar, meaning serpent priest. I'm working on a clothing line right now called Nagas or Nagar, which means knowledge, which means enlightened one, right? And it's called serpent priest, right? Meaning that center part of your head that reaches enlightenment, which makes canine. Absolutely, bro. Say what? No. I'm gonna read this again because you say what, bro? Yeah, I gotta give it to him one more time, bro. Here we go. So you see, it says clearly there is no locale called Nazareth. The word, now we know that there's no location actually called Nazareth. These are man-made places. The word derives from the Egyptian Nazir, meaning the prince who is sent. Is Jesus the Son of God? Is he a prince? Was he sent? See, Satan was cast out because he chose sin. Jesus was sent out because he was chosen. Let me type this in. Chose sin. Chosen. And then chose, Chosein, right? Chose, somebody type that for me on Facebook, please. Chose sin, Chosesin. Someone type in chosen, Chosen, and someone type CHOSC, chose, and in, meaning the inside of your head, IN. Type those for me, please. I want y'all to see something. This is called a triple entendre, just because we're doing the threes, right? So I want to give you guys a triple entendre just to represent the triple deity that is Christ, okay? Chose sin, chosen, and chose in, okay? So Jesus was cast out because he was chosen, right? Jesus was sent out because he was chosen. Satan was cast out because he chose sin. Thank you, Ricky. Now, if you want to become Jesus, you would have chose in. You have to choose to be in. Choose in. So I have a choice to believe that God is in or out. I chose in, therefore I became Jesus. I became the Christ consciousness because I understood that it was in. And once you chose in, you get casted out, just like Jesus, don't you? This is why you're cast out of the world, because you're chosen, because you chose in. But you're treated like you chose sin. They tell you just want to leave out because you want to do what you want to do. You're going to go become a murderer. No, my friend, I have chose in. I now understand that God is within me. And now I'm chosen to change the world. And who chose me? I chose me. I said that if nobody else is going to stand up, I'm going to do it. Instead of complaining about that piece of paper on the floor, I said, man, I'm going to pick it up. I chose myself. I'm God. I choose me. I'm chosen because I chose in. You understand what I'm saying? Bars, y'all. Super duper bars now. There was no locale called Nazareth. The word derives from the Egyptian Nazir. Now, you can't look this up nowhere. You cannot look up chosen. That's me. That's Kevin. That is my stuff, okay? That's Kevin. All right? So that is me using wordplay to teach, just like Jesus did, the Virgo, right? Now, meaning the prince who is sent, right? Because he was sent because he was chosen. Now, and also from Nazir, meaning Sirius, it is Jesus of Nazareth. Furthermore, the word carpenter, Jesus was a carpenter. Now, carpenter, the highest degree, 33rd, is a double number. 22 is a double number. Okay, not 12, but it's 13, 22, and I believe 33 are your master numbers. You understand? And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And numerology. All right, so Jesus is a carpenter, which means the builder number. You understand? So from Nagar, meaning serpent priest. Is that not crazy, y'all? Huh? Yes, sir. Are y'all with me so far? Let me know if I lost y'all. Right, Charles, I chose me. What you mean? I don't need someone to choose me. That's what a lot of Christians, that's what hurt me when I left religion. I was like, so wait, I'm not chosen. I wasn't called. I'm not set apart by God. God is not going to reward me or do all this stuff because of what bad happened to me. You feel me? And then it was like, no, there ain't no God up there. There's no God in the sky that's going to reward you for the suffering that you went through. Well, I'm going to reward me. You understand? I can take that type of control. You feel me? So here we go. Jesus Nazir, meaning serpent priest. Let's just look at this. What's Nas enlightened? Let's look at some of his albums, if we can see it. So let's see here. It Was Written, right? That's one of Nas's albums. Let's go to the next slide. I hear you begging for change. Rick said he almost caught the Holy Ghost. Too funny. Are you muted, Ricky? Are you still muted? Man, you got to unmute yourself when you talking like that so they can hear you. Tell them what you said. All right.
Hold on, bro. See, we got some feedback.
No, so Ricky getting it together, so
yeah,
Ricky, whenever you get it together, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm good. No, what I was saying, bro, I was like, when you was talking about chosen, and chosen, I'm like, that would have just had the whole church falling out. People would have been catching the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues, wigs falling off, hats falling off, and everything, bro.
Absolutely. Too funny, man. All right, bet. Let me see something. Say what now? Yeah, I'm gonna look back at that last Nas image you see here, guys. That's what I was telling you about the Pharaoh, the album called I Am, right? Which Jesus is the I Am, and he's also called the Nazir, right? Nas with whips on his back could be representation of what black people went through, but of course Jesus took lashes on his back as well. Then Nas has an album called God's Son, right? Who is Jesus, God's Son? And then Nas has depicted him right here as the Last Supper, called the Street's Disciple. Why would he choose so many different things that could be used with religion? If he wasn't religious, like Nas actually was on a different level than a lot of hip hop heads were back in the day. And Nas, man, that was back in the day when he first came out. So just understand that, man. Go to the next slide. I want you guys to just see this so y'all can see Kevin ain't just making stuff up. You know what I mean? They say that if you're going to talk about somebody about something, you should be able to show them along with history in the world and show them how the world looks at things to be able to make your point, not just read myths from a book and say this is true. You understand? And it's crazy, man. Like, I can appreciate that. Like Rick said, if y'all didn't hear Rick, he said, man, he busting their heads today. And, you know, a lot of people who, when they debate and they use those type of terms, I look at it like when they say busting your head, think of that Kundalini chakra, that purple chakra that was burst in the top of the head. It was burst out. That's how, I'm not busting your heads by attacking you. I'm busting your heads by enlightening you. Your crown chakra is gonna bust today, burst open, and the color beautiful ultraviolet is gonna come out, and you're gonna be enlightened just by learning information, right? Now watch this. Here's the Incredible Hulk. Now we talked about chakra and what colors mean. I want to show you guys something. Jesus is represented with a purple sash, meaning the highest level of royalty, right? Notice that Hulk has on purple pants. He's also green. Now, the serpent is green. Here's why the serpent is green. The serpent is representing power on a whole nother level. This is why the serpent is actually green. This is why the garden or your heart is called the mid-garden or the middle garden, because a garden is what? Green, right? That's why Adam and Eve was in a place of love and they were in a green garden, right? Because they were in a place that was love, right? This is your heart chakra. Hulk should be red because he's supposed to be represented by anger, but Hulk isn't. Who is Hulk? We that's what I'm saying. We only see with our eyes and not with the chakra. We don't see in esoteric knowledge. We just see and hear with our eyes and ears. I'm going to show you how to see on another level. Hulk always said, you're making me angry. So we associate Hulk with being an angry person, right? Let me show you why the Hulk is actually green instead of red, and Hulk has nothing to do with anger. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Watch this. Hulk being green is because Osiris was green. Go look back in Egypt at that knowledge on the walls. You're going to see Osiris being green, representation of melanin or space. Hulk, you ever hear of Planet Hulk? Notice how Hulk in his movies, he's always bouncing around from different planet to planet. Hulk could go through the Earth's pores. What is a pore? Well, a pore is a small hole in your skin. But what do we call pores? We call them portals when you're dealing with the universe. We call them portals instead of pores. But Hulk is known for going through portals, which means he can transfer through space and time, right? So Hulk is classified by green and purple. These colors are very, very important, guys. Hulk is super strong, right? This is why money is green. It's representation of power. This is why the serpent is green. It's representation of power. Do you understand it now? This is why money is green today. Every single president wants to die and be green like the Hulk, because this means that they are put on money and represented as power. Ben Frank, what do you hear people say when they're talking about a Ben Frank, right? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Here it says all about the $100 bill. Benjamin Franklin is now looked at as power because he's on that money. He's now green, right? I say I've been Frank, which means I've been kept it on 100. Do you not understand that? That's a bar. I've been Frank. Whenever you Frank, it means you tell it like it is, right? Ben, B-E-E-N, means that you've been doing this for a while. But Ben Frank is a $100 bill, and keeping it 100 also means telling the truth. I've been Frank. Oh my God, I just came up with that, and that's bars. Whoa! I keep it 100. I've been Frank. Oh my God, boys. That's a side note. That's a side note. Oh my God, this is what happens when I'm writing songs. That's why it takes me so long to get through them, because I say crap like that and get lost at it. Now I'm stuck, right? But right now, I've been Frank. I'm keeping it 100, right? Let's go to the next slide. So we see Hulk now represented by green. Anybody ever seen a baby come out, be born with green on their body, green on their avatar, right? This is melanin, okay? This is green. Melanin can be in the form of green. That's why you have babies that's green, skin color that's green early in life, and it kind of fades as you grow up. But if you're born with green skin tones, you understand? So Osiris is represented by green. So Hulk is green, meaning he got the gamma rays, right? Who else is green and purple? And from another planet, Piccolo. Piccolo is green, and he wears purple. He's from the planet called Namek. When Piccolo gets ready to shoot his power, where does he put his fingertips? On his pineal gland. And he shoots from his pineal gland a spiral beam of energy that looks like Kundalini. And we think people made Dragon Ball Z up. We don't realize they took all this stuff from the same stuff that people took the Bible from. Is that his forehead? Absolutely. Piccolo, he puts his beam, his special beam cannon, he puts it on his forehead, his two fingers on his forehead, which means peace in the African Kemetic. He puts his two fingers on his forehead, his pineal gland, and he aims from that with the spiral golden beam that can go through anything and cannot be blocked. Kundalini energy. Right? Am I making this stuff up? Now, this is what I'm telling you. So what, Ricky? Yeah, give me the next slide, bro. Also, Piccolo has his head wrapped like a Hindu, too. So you can see Piccolo walks around like an enlightened person. Even though he's not from Earth, he wraps his head like an enlightened person, right? Piccolo is a whole different character, y'all. If Piccolo lived right now, he'd be some Indian dude who definitely understood historic knowledge. That's who Piccolo would be. He would be Sadhguru. All right, so the only melanated person on Star Wars has a purple saber. Now, I just told you guys, Star Wars is depicted where? In outer space. So these characters who live out of space and go from outer space back to Earth and travel, they have purple lasers, the highest ultraviolet form. This right here is the Mace, the only black Jedi who has a purple. Why is it purple? Why is it purple, y'all? Why is it purple? Next slide. Jesus is displayed in purple, representing the highest form of thinking, the highest crown chakra, royalty. And where does the light come from in the saber? From inside of it. You don't understand, it's called Star Wars. Star Wars. These characters inside of your mind are looked at as stars. Even in Hollywood, who do we call the actors? Stars. We literally call them stars, right? And we don't understand that Hollywood is nothing but a play on magic and giving you esoteric knowledge. Why else would you call an actor a star? Why? Think about it, family. Yoda has a green saber. His saber comes from down inside of his sword, right? Just like your Kundalini energy comes from inside of you, his saber comes out green. Now, did some manufacturer make his saber to be green? Some manufacturer make his saber to be green, or is his saber green simply because he's holding it? You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand, what does this mean? Yoda is green, his saber is green. Yoda is the depiction of ultimate power on Star Wars. Yoda is responsible for telling Luke, he's telling Luke, look at nature, become one with it. Remember this? He's telling Luke to look at nature, become one with nature, understand it. And who is Luke fighting with? His own father, his own being. Anakin Skywalker, he's fighting with him. Then he's fighting with Darth Vader, his son and his own father. It's an internal fight, an internal battle. God and the Son and Satan is an internal battle this whole time. Yoda is responsible for having all this wisdom and power. Thus, he's represented by green and holds a green saber. Do you not understand where I'm coming from? This is why the Kundalini, or the serpent, is represented as a snake. The serpent is also green. Now, if you look with your eyes and hear with your ears, you'll never see this. But you have to be willing to go deeper, family. That's what I'm telling you. Right, 100. I've been Frank. I've been 100, right? Now let's go. Let's keep going. Let's look at the next one, brother. Now we can go a step further and look at Yoda and say he has 3 fingers on each foot. 3 toes on each foot, 3 fingers on each hand, representing the Trinity again. That's 3, 3, 3, 3. That's 4 threes right here. 4 times 3 is what? 12. Jesus is the 12th. Jesus had 12 disciples. This is the green serpent energy. Yoda is Jesus. He gives you esoteric knowledge and helps you raise up to become enlightened. Yoga. Yoga is about going inside of yourself and meditating. Yoda represents yoga, nature. That's what yoga represents, nature. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Yoda is yoga, nature, green, Jesus, Kundalini, 3, 12. Man, I'm telling you, you cannot make this stuff up, y'all. And the person who made Yoda was an absolute genius who understood esoteric knowledge. This is why they made him look like that. Yoda, you can't design Yoda. Esoteric knowledge tells you what Yoda's supposed to look like. So Yoda was traced, not made up. You understand? Yoda was traced, not made up. And anytime you're writing a story and you're going to teach esoteric knowledge to it, then it's going to be a govern on what your characters can do, what they look like, and what their names are. Right? Now, we're talking about names because we only listen with our ears. What was Yoda's name? Yoda, coming from yoga, meaning nature. What was Hulk's name? Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner. Look up the word Bruce and what it means. Brute. Now, I'm going to show you guys. Play on word. What does a Hulk do? He smashes, right? And if you get smashed, what would that leave you? Bruised. Bruised. Bruce. Bruised. Bruce. Bruised. Hulk bruises. Bruce bruises. You understand? This is why he has the name Bruce. It's why Spike Lee made his name Bruce. I promise you, I'm not making this up. This is why when you look at these things, you marvel. You understand? That's why it's called Marvel. Do you understand what I just said? Say what, bro? Oh, that's the last one. Okay, cool. That's cool. I have several more. Like I'm just looking them up and sending them as we go, which is cool. So, let me see. Say what? Absolutely. So somebody type in Bruce for me. Bruise, Bruise, and Bruce beside each other. Bruce, if you say Bruce quickly, you're saying Bruce. So understand that even Bruce's name wasn't made up, right? Please understand that this is esoteric knowledge. The same thing with Superman. Let me see if I can find a picture of Superman real quick, and I'm going to send that to you as well. Now, we know the S on Superman's chest is a serpent climbing up, right? We know that S means serpent or superior knowledge, right? So we know that serpent is climbing up. Superman comes from a land where there was a red sun, and now he on an earth now where he has a green sun, right? Now, I'm going to show you something about Superman. You notice that he has red underwear, and your chakra that covers your loins, your sexual organs is what color? Red. This is why these superheroes have on red drawers, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm not making this stuff up. Just look this stuff up, y'all. This is why they have on red underwear. I just sent you a picture of Superman, if you don't mind loading that up for me, Rick. Yeah, bruise. Not with the B, Gary. Bruise, just bruise. B-R-U-S-E. But of course, bruise is fine. Bruce, absolutely. Bruised, absolutely. So Superman has on red drawers to cover his red chakra. You understand? And many superheroes have on red drawers to cover their red chakra. You understand? So this is all esoteric knowledge. Why are the drawers red, y'all? Why? Is it just because people just copied Superman and said, I'm going to make my drawers red too? No, it's not. So there's a reason, you understand? And what does red and blue make when you combine those colors? Purple. Red and blue together make purple. Do you not understand that? And what does Superman have hanging on his forehead? A serpentine curl on his forehead. A serpent curl on his forehead. the pharaohs had a serpent on their forehead, and Superman just happens to have a curl that has a shaped like a kundalini going serpentine up as a curl on his forehead. Absolutely, Sonya. Blue and red make purple. So now that you guys are looking right at Superman, you can see his colors and how they come from chakra. Purple and red are making blue. Blue and red making purple. You know, of course, Superman having his curl on his forehead that literally represents the pineal gland. You understand? We know Superman was from another planet, right? We know Superman got his power from the sun, right? What is it telling you? What is this telling you? Superman also got weak when he was exposed to green. Why is that? Why was the green stronger than Superman? Why is that? Please tell me why the only thing that could weaken Superman was something that was green. Why is kryptonite green? Why do aliens always bleed green blood? Please tell me why the predator bleeds green blood. Please tell me why the predator bleeds green blood. And every time you see an alien depicted from Hollywood, their blood is green. Please tell me why. Why is Superman's kryptonite green? They could have made it any color, family. Absolutely, Vince. If Superman moves quickly, those colors would appear purple. Absolutely. Why are aliens green, y'all? Why whenever we make up an alien with a big old oval type head, why are they green? Right, green is energy. Aliens themselves are depicted as green characters, even if you don't make them green. If you bring the predator and have him have dreadlocks, like a black person, a melanated being, and then he gets cut, they're going to make his blood be green, right? All these different characters who transferred from different portals, going in and out of space, their skin color was green or had some kind of green to their body, right? The heart chakra is represented by a green color, which is supposed to be the garden of your mid garden, which is where you are closest to God, inside of your green part, inside of your power, right? Y'all would never get this type of information in church. They would never want you guys to know this, right? Now somebody said, well, they make money green so you will love it because you're going to love green because your heart chakra is green. That's not what I'm saying here. That's not what I'm teaching here. I would never say that you like something solely because it's green. Now, green is my favorite color. I can't lie. Olive green is my favorite color, you know, and someone on here just said green is their favorite color, but I know everyone's favorite color isn't green, so we can't assume that green is loved by everyone simply because it's green. But we do know that the heart chakra is, by symbolism, is green. So therefore, the heart chakra existed in terms of esoteric knowledge before we had money. So this is why they made money green. You understand? Because we understand already what it means, what green means, by if we're going to apply meaning to the color. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to keep it really simple so you guys can understand. I'm not teaching something that cannot be proven. This, you can actually go back and just look at it. You feel me? So let me just see. So as we're looking at Superman, we know that many other characters, Black Panther, of course, on the Black Panther, when he got hit, his suit lit up purple, didn't it? Purple. His suit lit up purple. And remember, whenever he went to heaven after he drank the purple drink from the purple flowers, there was purple background. There was purple background all behind the trees on Black Panther, right? Purple. And like I said, every time he got hit, it lit up purple. Now, of course, the other guy, whenever he got hit, his lit up yellow. Now, do we think that the Black Panther sister made the suit to light up orange, or made it light up purple simply because she wanted them to? Or are we going to look at it and say, okay, it's esoteric knowledge? Yellow, the sacral chakra, represents something totally different than the purple chakra. Okay, look at my man Killmonger, right? Look at Killmonger. What? Tell me the attributes of Killmonger. How he felt. Was he angry? Was he upset? Had he been hurt? What was Killmonger's personality traits? I'm gonna wait till you guys type something. What was Killmonger's personality traits, if you don't mind? Okay, so let me see. I'm going to go to YouTube first because I know that's probably where my most known answers will come from. Sacral chakra. Someone says anger, revenge. Right. Now, here we go. He says anger. Now, the sacral chakra is representation of emotions. You understand? Your emotions, like, you know, you feel like your emotions come from, like, the pit of your gut, right? Your sacral chakra. So vengefulness, anger, all these can come from deep-seated emotions. And what was Killmonger? He was very emotional about what had happened, right? Killmonger was very emotional. Here's what it says about the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the second chakra from the bottom in your body's chakra system. It is associated with your emotional body. Killmonger was very emotional and sensual, or sensuality. It's associated with your emotional body, creativity, sensuality. The sacral chakra's energy is characterized by flexibility and flow. It's the chakra that is closely associated with emotional responses, often described as the seat of emotions. What did Killmonger do to convert the people into believing in what he had to say? He moved them by emotions. He talked about what had been going on in the world and how people were still enslaved and they're not doing anything about it. And what happened? The people inside of the circle agreed with him because it catered to their emotions. He moved them by way of their emotions. He brought all of them out of their emotions, right? That's how he moved them. He didn't go in there and teach some lecture with a whole bunch of information. He went in mad and said exactly how he felt, did he not? And because he said how he felt, he actually got a move out of the people. Even when he stepped up and wanted to fight old dude, he said he didn't care nothing about rules and regulations and how a kingdom is supposed to work. It's not time for a challenge. He didn't care about that. All he was just in his feelings. I want to fight. I just want to fight now. I don't care about any of that. And when Killmonger got hit, he lit up yellow, just like the sacral chakra. Whenever T'Challa, the one who don't want to fight because he's enlightened, right? He sees the world from a different perspective. And even when he did see it from Killmonger's side, he still chose to go the way of teaching. He says, I'm going to build schools. I'm not going to send weapons. I'm going to build schools. He took the high road, the purple road, right? The crown chakra road. And this is T'Challa. And when he gets hit, he's purple. Thank you, Rick. Ricky the man, he done went and got his own picture and threw it up. I definitely appreciate that, bro. You're making it easier for me. Dang, that helps. So as you guys see this image, you see exactly what I'm saying now, that these colors of these people weren't made up either. These are not made up. This is simply people using this information and re-giving it back to you in the way of a story. Do we understand? So the claustrum, where Christ climbs your vertebrae up until the top mount, or the Mount of Olives, or the Mount of Calvary, right? The mountain family, is Calvary. Now type in Calvary on Google or anywhere. If you don't like Google, use anything that you feel comfortable with, and just type up the meaning of Calvary. It'll tell you the cranium, inside of the head. So inside of the head, Christ goes up as your Kundalini energy to your crown chakra, and there he's crucified, right? Whenever you become enlightened, there's a whole lot of feelings that you got to go through, a whole lot. You do have to die. You do understand this. You have to give it up. Just like Jesus did, he had to say, it is finished. Please understand that if you're going to come from darkness into light, you have to recognize that you're in the dark. And when you recognize you're in the dark, that is uncomfortable. That is, it's synonymous with being lost, right? So he that cannot see, I provide them sight. If you cannot see, then where are you by default? The dark. Even if you're in broad daylight and you're blind, you still are in the dark. We use this term whenever you don't have access to certain information. If someone says, you kept me in the dark, we're saying that you kept me outside of the loop, right? So we know the word dark can be synonymous with lack of information. The word dark can be synonymous with a bad person. And the word dark can be synonymous with the absence of light. We understand these words can have many different meanings esoterically. So we can't think that every time we read a word in the Bible, it means the same thing, right? So when you read a word like stone or mountain, you're talking about a person's cranium or head or dome. You understand? That's what you're talking about. Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who we have 12 tribes after from his 12 sons, he was said to lay his head on a stone because he was tired. Why would he lay his head on a stone? The stone is uncomfortable. He would find bushes. He would find anything to put his head on. He would not put his head on stone. But the Bible says he laid his head on stone. This is symbolic. It's trying to tell you something. And it tells you he saw a step ladder that reached to God. And he saw God face to face. And he called that place Pineal. This is what he called the place. He could have chose any word, but instead he still chose to call that place Pineal. Why? Why would he still chose to call the place Pineal seriously, if we already have a pineal gland, this information is already understood long before we have the literature that is of Jacob or Israel, and yet he called this place Pineal. It is there that I saw God. Jesus, whenever Abraham takes his son up the mountain to sacrifice his son, they stop him and say, no, there's a ram in the bush. The ram in the bush is Jesus. Jesus is the ram or the lamb who is also Aries, who is sacrificed for your sins. Is Jesus not God? He is God, right? So if God is the ram, right, look up the word, Aleph. Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is representation of a ram, the beginning. Jews to this day, when they're representing Yahweh, they blow a ram's horn, a shofar. We've seen this. Let me find that and send it to you while you guys are looking at that image. So let me just show you, man. We've also Jewish people celebrating their festivals to Yahweh. They worship the same God that Christians do, and they blow a shofar, you know. And so we know this. Why? Why do they blow a shofar? Why are all of their festivals? Why do they eat lamb at every festival and unleavened bread without yeast at every festival? Why do they blow ram's horns at every festival? Because Jesus is the bread of the world without sin. Unleavened bread is the equivalent to bread without yeast. Yeast is the equivalent to sin, as yeast puffs up and it swells up and it doesn't offer any real nutrients. So the leavened part of the bread is the part that has nutrients, but it doesn't swell up. It looks just like a cracker, right? So when you're eating a cracker, you're essentially eating what we would call leavened bread, right? So Jesus is represented by leavened bread, all right? And if you don't mind, Ricky, if you could find a picture of a shofar, because I'm saying I'm in a zone, and right now I can't type it in without even messing up. So as we're looking at this information still, let me see what we are. See here. So yeah, like I was saying, Jews blow a shofar's horn. They eat lamb at every festival because that's representation of eating eating the Lamb of God, or keeps the ram in their mind. Of course, they remind themselves that God used the lamb to clothe them. Listen, I used to celebrate these same things, so I know I would have been classified as a Hebrew Israelite before my actual awakening. as I was celebrating what would be called as Jewish festivals, but I understood they were Hebraic festivals, as the festival was given to all 12 tribes on the mountain, not just the Jewish tribe. Jews come from the tribe of Judah or Dan, right? So if you are Jewish, you are supposed to come from the tribe of Dan, which means that Dan, the son of Israel, would have been your father or grandfather, or Judah, the tribe of Judah, well, the lion of the tribe of Judah, right? Judah is a man also, which is the son of Israel. So your grandfather would have been him. So if you're Jewish, you come from one of two tribes. Now, but the festivals were given to all 12 tribes on Mount Sinai. Inside of your head, inside of the mount, you were given these rules, right? And he would tell you, on this festival, take a lamb and do this to it. Make sure it's perfect. Examine it. Don't use any old lamb. Use the best lamb you have. Why? Why did you use the best lamb you have? Because God is supposed to be the best lamb that you have. Do you not understand this is just symbolic? It don't mean nothing in terms of God actually being real or Jesus being real. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely, Sean. So please understand that, like, and even Rockwell said Jesus was a real man. Please understand, even now we have people who are real men named Jesus. So some people see that Jesus was a real man, and they say that, oh man, that means that Jesus, by way of walking on water and raised people from the dead, really exists, but he just didn't raise people from the dead. No, that Jesus right there that people are talking about never existed. There has been plenty of people named Jesus, though, through history, because people get named after people. Just like it's people now named Jesus or Jesus, because there was a person in history named Jesus and Jesus. Just like people now are named after famous people in history. I know a guy with his real name is Osiris. So we can say that Osiris existed in the realm of reality because there was a person named after the symbolic God or symbolic son that was to give you information. You understand what I'm saying? There are the Jewish people playing the ram's horn. Now, please understand, like I was saying, when I celebrated the holy festivals or the holy days, you would celebrate for 7 days. Each festival is 7 days. Jewish people, if you're on here and you're Jewish, came from a Jewish background, please confirm what I'm saying. How long does Yom Kippur last? How long does a Sukkot last? How long does Hanukkah last? How long does any one of these Jewish festivals last? Please tell me right now. Please, if you're on Facebook, I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to look at your comments. If you come from a Jewish background, how long is every festival that God gave Jewish people to celebrate? Is it not 7 days? 7 days, September, separate, 7 levels of chakra, right? 7 Dragon Balls makes the Kundalini energy. Is it not 7 days you celebrate the leavened bread of Jesus? And is it not 7 days? 7 seas, 7 planets, right? 7 continents, right? We break these things down into 7. Thank you very much, Skydog and Lane. Thank you guys, Skydog and Lane, for donating on YouTube. Actions speak louder than words. And again, I normally say it as soon as I see it, but I'm all over the place because I'm trying to speak and get with everybody, right? I haven't seen anybody say it yet. Anybody confirm what I'm saying, please. If you come from a Jewish background, if you've ever been a Hebrew Israelite or anything, how long are Jewish festivals, guys? You can simply look it up, but some of you guys have actually contributed to this stuff, so you know what I'm saying is true. From 7 to 8 days, and we know that 8 is the Ophiuchus, or 8 is the caduceus, as 8 is the perfect energy. Like, say, watch this. We know that 8, like we call it the, let me see. Thank you very much, Anthony Bailey, for buying the album. If you guys haven't got the Rapture album, please look into that, family. I don't know what I'm doing here. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to. Okay, I got it right. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the figure 8, guys. When you see the Ouroboros, it's an 8, right? The Ouroboros is the serpent eating its own tail, right? It represents eternity, or it being eternal, because the serpent is consuming its own tail or drinking its own wine, its own urine, which means that it has an unlimited source of water now, right? This is the idea of the Ouroboros, right? And Jesus turns water into wine. Dionysus is seen peeing off the top of many fountains today, turning water into wine. How did he turn water into wine? He pissed it out. I'm not making this stuff up, y'all. And now this is, of course, just what you look at on the outside of you. But when you turn water into wine, it happens by way of the oil inside of your head. The wine is the sacral energy, or the sacral oil. You see what I'm saying? Right, the number 8 is bad. Okay, now watch this, Vincent. He said in Asian countries, the number 8 is bad. Watch this. Krishna was the 8th born child. The mother of Krishna lost 7 children before she had Krishna. Krishna being the 8th, right? Krishna was the 8th child. August is the 8th month, which is where Virgo comes in. You understand what I'm saying? So please understand, like, this stuff isn't just said to be said. It's not made up. It's taken from somewhere. You understand? 8 means eternal. It means to be enlightened. 8 is 4 and 4. 8 is the best of both worlds. 4 represents power, having money. If you understand, like, numerology, if your soul number or something like that is a 4, then you are very creative when it comes to making money and things like that, because that's what 4 is. 4, and of course 4 is the double of 2. So when you look at the soul number or whatever for 2, it's going to have a whole lot in common with 4, right? But then 4 doubled is 8, and people who have the 8, they are amiss. They are very spiritual, and they don't have a whole lot of money. They're either one side of that 4 or the other side of that 4. This is esoteric knowledge, by understanding that. Now, I'm an 8 as well, and I am a spiritual person, I guess. I do live in my head or whatever. So I'm an 8 if I was born in August. My birthday is the 26th. 2 and 6 make 8. And, of course, I was born in the 80s, 1982 or whatever, so which makes me 888, right? And Jesus is 8, absolutely. Of course, as he represents the Ouroboros or the serpent or whatever. So these things mean something. As of course, like I said, using esoteric knowledge or hidden information, you can learn a lot from these characters, man, and see that they're not from a Bible. They're really not. They're simply not. This is simply esoteric information that we're supposed to learn. So who is God or Jesus? Of course, if you ask a Christian, Jesus existed in the realm of reality. He really walked on water. He really recruited fishermen as his disciples. They really walked around with sun discs behind their head, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. The disciples represent stars. That's why they have sun discs behind their head, right? Aquarius also means enlightenment. That's why we're in the age of information, the age of Aquarius now. Jesus said it in the Bible, which also proves that we are in the realm of historic knowledge in the Bible, an allegory, not reality in the Bible. Jesus said, go and you will see a man bearing a pitcher of water. Go and find him. Follow him when you see him. A man bearing a pitcher of water would be an anomaly back then, because men didn't bear pitchers of water. I said it this exact same way on a video where I was teaching about this, guys. Women bore pitchers of water. You look back, women carry pitchers on their head. So this is why this was historic knowledge. If you tell somebody you're going to see a man bearing a pitcher of water, you're going to be like, men don't carry pitchers of water. That's crazy. That's like me saying you're going to see a woman up under the hood of a car fixing the transmission. Follow her. I'm not saying it's impossible for a man to bear a pitcher of water. What I'm saying is it's uncommon. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's impossible for a woman to fix a transmission. I'm saying it's uncommon. And many men now, if you hear a woman that have all kinds of knowledge about under the hood or sports or anything, will be shocked or alarmed. Remember when Cam Newton was shocked that the lady knew ins and outs and actual route trees? And he was like, man, a woman knows that? And people thought that he was being misogynistic. He was, but he wasn't being misogynistic in an evil way. We're misogynistic simply because we don't know no better. And he was just saying, women, yeah, it's crazy that a woman would know all of that. I mean, obviously, Cam Newton knows a woman has the intensity or the mind capacity to learn anything that a man can learn. Come on, y'all. If we can sit down in the classroom and learn routes, a woman can do it too. That is not what Cam was saying. He was just surprised to hear somebody speaking that way, being that he don't hear women talk like that. All his coaches are men. His whole life he's been surrounded by men who coach like this. But we made him a bad person for thinking like this. He wasn't trying to be bad. But we all are equally evil when we're that ignorant, because we display these evil actions and say these things out loud, which offend other people, but we're not speaking from an evil place, we're speaking from ignorance. You see what I'm saying? So this is the same thing. You're going to see a man bearing a pitcher of water. This is not common. So yes, they were referring to the Aquarius. We're right now we're under, coming into, or under, depending on who you ask, the age of the Aquarius, which is when we're going to walk out of Pisces. Pisces is the age of belief. And what happened under the age of Pisces? These last 2,000 years, you supposedly died 2,000 years ago, and age lasts about 2,000 years. We're now coming at the end of Pisces. Jesus is Pisces, guys. It's why he washed someone's 2 feet with his hair. You know, it's why, and of course, where's your hair? It's on your head. God represents the head, the Aries. So it was literally putting head to feet. It was putting Aries to Pisces, showing you that Jesus, Aries, or God Aries, is Jesus Pisces. That's why he washed feet. That's why Jesus, who is also the Capricorn, other than having his knees, his legs broken, walked on water, because fish swim in water, and of course Jesus' feet being on water represents the fish being on water. The lower body of the Capricorn is of a horse, or has hooves, just like Satan. The Bible says that Satan has hooved feet, just like a goat. And Jesus is a lamb. We know that a ram, a goat, and a sheep are all in the same family. So why is Yahweh a ram? Why is Jesus a lamb? And why is Satan a goat? Come on, y'all. Somebody type that in. Yahweh is a ram. Yahweh is a ram. Jesus is a lamb, and Satan is a goat. Type that in for me. I want everybody to see that. And if you're a moderator on my Facebook page, pin that comment to the top, because I can't do it from my phone, right? God is a ram. Yahweh is a ram. Jesus is a sheep or a lamb. And Satan is a goat. Please type that in for me on YouTube and Facebook. I just want people to be able to look at that and see it. Mary Magdalene. Again, Mary Magdalene. M&M. 2 M's. M-N-M. M&M. Mary Magdalene, Madonna and child. Mary, the mother or mama of Jesus, right? The maternal mama of Jesus. And also Moshe, the original name for Isis, and Madonna and child, right? Mary Magdalene. Right, thank you, Ricky. There we go. Ram, God, Jesus, lamb, Satan, goat. Why? Why, y'all? Thank you, LeSean. Why, y'all? Why? They are the same person, family. They're the same person. When you think of God, you think of the ram, the big horns. When you think of Jesus, you think of the baby innocent lamb who was born in a manger. When you think of Satan, you think that evil goat Baphomet. Do you not? Top, middle, bottom. God is the highest. Jesus is on the earth. Satan is under the earth or in hell, right? God Aries, Jesus being the virgin sheep in your stomach, right, representing the middle ground, and of course the underground, which is Satan, right in that order. They describe Satan by his hooves. They use horns to represent Jesus, right? And they use bread, the bread of life, to represent Jesus. Santa has 12 reindeer, right? Santa has 12 reindeer, making Santa the 13th. Horus has 12 disciples, disciples, D-I-S-C-iples, disciples with sun discs behind their head, meaning they glow. They represent the sun, right? They're wearing crowns, right? Crowned with the sun. Jesus is the 13th of after 12 disciples, right? We see this over and over. So when people start saying, you know, well, I think the Bible is true. No, you accepted the Bible as a young age. You didn't put any real work into it. So you have no clue really what you're saying. You're just talking from what you were taught, not from real literal experience. So we have to take the time to dig and learn this information so we can understand how to dialogue with Christians, because they don't have any of this information. Now, there's so much more of this information, guys, and I probably forgot half of what I was going to say. most of this stuff, like all of this stuff, is really just it's in me. So like, I don't have to like really refer to sources and do a whole lot of reading and stuff from different things, because I've studied all this stuff for so long that I could just go into it and talk about it. But if you asking Kevin and trying to tell me that Jesus exists in the realm of reality, please understand I have too much information that points Jesus out to be just another one of these characters. Like I said, Jesus is the 33rd. He rises to the Kundalini in the crown chakra, making him Christ consciousness. Any one of you can be Christ. Any one of you can die and rise again. You understand what I'm saying? Any one of you. In fact, a lot of esoteric knowledge shows you that the moon is responsible for helping you enlighten. Let's try something. Look up when your moon is in your is in your sign, and when your moon is going to be in your sign for those 7 days around it. Don't have sex, eat clean, and let's see if you feel better. Because of course the moon is supposed to move water, right? And your body's filled with water also. So we can't just think the moon would now just move oceans and not lakes and not ponds and not streams. It would have to move all water, right? And so this is why a lot of esoteric knowledge displays the moon as it helps you to enlighten. You understand what I'm saying? So let's try that. My moon is in my sign. My moon is in Virgo, January the 22nd, the master builder number. The 22nd of January would be when my moon is in the zodiac of Virgo, right? So whatever zodiac you came from, according to the zodiacs that we have. If you want to look up, African zodiacs, you can as well. So you can look up Leo. I would be Leo in the African zodiac. Let's look and see where it is and put it to the test before we start saying that, astrology is true. Let's challenge it first, right? I mean, because these are things that we can challenge in reality. So before we run off and say astrology is true and it really is that energy on the inside of us and it really does happen this way, instead of understanding that it's just knowledge, let's try it. Let's see if you enlighten or something happens inside of your mind that doesn't normally happen. If you were to keep your body as clean as possible as you go through the 7 days that your sun is in your sign. You feel me? Try it. Let's see. Are y'all down with that? Let me look at your comments. Right. LeSean says Jesus, well, hang on. No, LeSean. Jesus is kissed in Scorpio. He's judged in Libra, as Libra represents the scales of justice, right? He's pierced in Sagittarius by the arrow of the Sagittarius, right? And then he goes to hell in Capricorn. So he dies in Sagittarius and goes to hell in Capricorn. And we know that the sun rises in Capricorn. So we know that the sun rises in Capricorn. So we know that the winter solstice is right around Capricorn. Tiffany said, yeah, I'll do that. Definitely. Okay, cool. So we're going to put it to the test. We're going to try to enlighten. We're going to see. But you can't don't just wait until until it's in the, don't just wait until your moon sign is in your sun sign or in your zodiac sign, because the elite or the people who taught this stuff, they said that you had to intellectually understand this stuff too. So it's not just something that happens by chance, by you shouting in a church and all of a sudden it hits you. You have to intellectually understand what's happening. You know what I mean? Nick O'Neill said you don't understand what I'm asking. I'm saying what I'm asking is before we say that, right, there you go, William. There you go, William. So astronomy is the observance of the stars. Astrology is the observance of the signs and how you coincide with the signs based on where you were born. I have not verified that astrology is a real thing, that if you come from Virgo, you're going to act a certain way or be a certain way, that if you come from Cancer, you're automatically going to be emotional. What I'm saying is before we reach that point to where we're saying that it is 100% true, it does seem to be, it seems to relate to reality, but before we can say that out loud, I would like to test it first and see if we can say that in reality, before we're doing the same things that Christians did, before we're doing the same things that we did when we subscribed to belief without testing stuff. You feel me? So more of astronomy, absolutely. So I'm discussing to you astronomy based on where the stars are aligned. Astrology is the other way around, meaning or zodiac, circle of small animals, in which you subscribe yourself to different characters based on star systems. Because please understand, It's a whole lot to it. Saying that the virgin is a virgin is simply from your perspective. The stars may have aligned to look like a virgin or a Taurus or a Pisces from your perspective. But from another planet, say like Mars, Mercury, Pluto, they may look like rats, dogs, or anything, which is why you have different looking zodiacs in the Chinese zodiac. They look like something else. Now, a lot of them have several meanings. If you are a dog in the Chinese zodiac, it doesn't mean a bad thing. If you are a snake in the Chinese zodiac, it doesn't mean a bad thing. But they see the stars as different because they live in different geographical areas. Such as if you were on a different planet, you wouldn't see those the same way. So we're not going to understand astrology or zodiac as a virgin has to be a virgin or a Taurus has to be a Taurus. What we're looking at is if you're born in the time that the sun was in these constellations, do you actually share unique qualities with what they say you're supposed to, right? Royal Outlet says, give me your birthday, I'll break you down. I'm August the 26th, 1982. All right, August 26th, 1982. I was born at 6:03, which makes 9. All right, so I know all of this stuff because I've done all that stuff. I've done my chart, my astro chart, my natal chart, of course I've done all that. I've been into all of that stuff, guys. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum, all sides of it, I guess, to try to get a complete perspective. But I would like to hear what you say, Royale. And I'll tell you, it's crazy because whenever I did look into my name, it did have a lot in common with me. You know what I mean? But again, a lot of times we can be reaching in that area where the way things are worded a lot of times are so they can't miss. They'll say things like you are a loner, but then sometimes, you like to go out and have fun. Right. Well, don't everybody? I mean, nobody's 100% left or 100% right? Everyone likes to get out from time to time. No one is 100%, off to itself, right? And so when you read stuff like that, you can be inclusive or you can be an introvert, but then sometimes you can be the life of the party. That's everybody. You know what I mean? So that's what we're really trying to get away from that type of thinking to where we're actually using our thinking faculties before we take the next step in life. What we did in religion is we simply just accepted what they were teaching, and we didn't try to say, what does it mean? What does it mean? And what we understand now is that these things actually have meaning in the world, right? Guys, just real quick, Vicky's on right now. See Vicky, y'all watching the crap out of this live. I really appreciate that. Because, I want to do this one time and get it out the way so people can understand that who is Jesus, who is God. Going into this so-called new year, we need to know, right? No more playing it by ear, no more just guessing game and trying to say who you think God is and then philosophizing. We want to know who this dude really is, right? You know what I mean? So I am a nurturer. That is true. That is true. Vicky's a Scorpio, absolutely. And again, guys, like I was saying, Vicky is in the Kevin Wesley group. If you go to the Kevin Wesley group, see Vicky or see Claudia, and go from there. Make sure you type in Kevin Wesley group on Facebook. Join that group. That thing is growing fast. Believe me. Last I checked, it was over like 6,000. I came back, it was over 7,000. So you guys are definitely joining it, but a lot of people don't know how. So if you're on Facebook, just go to search. If you're on YouTube right now, if you don't have a Facebook, get with me. If you don't have a Facebook, email me at KevinDWesley2682@gmail.com. KevinDWesley2682, my birthday, @gmail.com. Kevin D as in dog, Wesley, 2682@gmail.com. All right. If you do have an email, if you do have a Facebook, just simply go to search and type in Kevin Wesley Group. All right. And that way you can be added into the group so we can show you and invite you on our trips so you can go with us. I told a person that the other day, Royal, that I was sensitive. And I said, not by way of like I cry or I'm emotional to the what we call sensitive as in being weak. But I want to get on camera. But I said I'm sensitive as in like your fingertips are sensitive. Your fingertips are the most sensitive part of your body as they have the most nerves, and you use them for navigating. They're not just there to know when you're in pain, as if what we call, when someone shows pain, we say, are you sensitive? When someone's hurt, that's the only time we call them sensitive. But when they're happy, we don't say they're sensitive. Being easily connecting with emotions is what makes you sensitive, guys. But we like to just call people who who cry sensitive. We're not being fair. You understand? Sensitive means, easily sensible. I can sense things easily. So if my fingertips allow me to know what's cold and hot, also what's painful and what's not, and what feels good, then that's sensitive, not just the pain aspect of it. So I am very sensitive. I feel like I can feel the pain of people. Not much gets by me. I'm very intuitive. If I'm around you, I'm probably going to know how you feel. People say I have a way with words. They say I say all the right things. Maybe it's just because I know what to say. I don't know. To the person, being as where they are in that place in their life. Not that I'm smooth or charming or trying to woo you. I mean what I say, but sometimes I guess it can come off as charming or that I'm trying to, be smooth on somebody or whatever. But yeah, I'm very, very sensitive. Let me go back to the live so I can see what you guys are saying. Say it again. Yes, Amanita muscaria. Amanita muscaria is a mushroom that is said to help you well. And I ain't said to do it. It definitely do it. But Kevin D. Wesley, I like that. And hang on, because I'm going to get into that Amanita muscaria. Rockwell Mitchell, it's Kevin D. Wesley 2682 at gmail.com. So you left off the Wesley. So it's Kevin D. Wesley at Kevin D. Wesley 2682 at gmail.com. Family. All right. So yes, Muscaria mushroom or the Amanita muscaria mushroom. It is exactly what you see on. Let me see. Let me be on camera. It's exactly what you see on Mario. That red mushroom that you get on Mario, it makes you bigger. That's what the Amanita muscaria looks like. It only grows under trees, okay? It only grows under pine trees, fir trees, Christmas trees, which is why we wrap our Christmas gifts in red wrapping, right, to symbolize this Amanita muscaria mushroom. Shaman a long time ago wore red, just like the Amanita muscaria mushroom. They wore red because they wanted to look like the Amanita muscaria, just kind of like these seats in this car is red right now. Not for that reason, of course, but of course they wore red for a reason. So now Santa Claus now comes to your house and does the same thing that shaman did, which is bear gifts. These shamans would come to your house and they would share these Amanita muscaria with you to help you reach enlightenment. It was like training for death, like a boxer when he's training. You training for death because this high or this experience that you're going to get is the closest thing to dying that you will ever come across. Now, what's crazy is the word die comes from the word dimethyltryptamine. Your body or your pineal gland excretes dimethyltryptamine, DMT, whenever you're on Amanita muscaria mushrooms. And the Amanita mushrooms are called DMT, dimethyltryptamine. Even when you have sex, your body releases dimethyltryptamine or dopamine, right? Which is the same thing. So it's crazy because if you remember Class Act, Hillary Banks, I forget her character's name on Class Act, but she was talking to Duncan Penderhughes. No, she was talking to Blade Brown, who was played. And she told him to die meant to have a sexual orgasm, right? Remember, he got asked a question at the very end, and he was like, what does it mean to die? And he could hear her voice in his head saying, to die means to have a sexual orgasm, right? So whenever you're having a sexual orgasm, that feeling that you're feeling is dimethyltryptamine or dopamine in your body, right? So it's that dopamine that feel good, which is why you say, I love you, because you under a spell. You feel like you love her because your brain is releasing the chemicals that make you feel what we call love. So a lot of women, they get told that they're loved by dudes before sex, and then when it doesn't work out, they feel like the dude used them. Well, when he said that, he was under your spell. He felt like he loved you. And in some cases, I'm not saying all men, because some men do lie, but many men can tell you, I really thought I was in love. Like, I really was feeling it that day. Like, you could be so happy. You tell that person I love you. Essentially what you're saying is you make me happy. You make me release dopamine. And so that's what these shamans would do, is take this dopamine or dimethyltryptamine to each door, and they would train you on how to deal with the enlightenment process, right? And so that's where the Amanita muscaria comes from. And you can see Amanita muscaria all over the place. Way back in history, you will see gods shaped like mushrooms. You will see mushrooms in stone everywhere. I was taught they were phallics, that they were penises. But now that I've gathered more information, you can clearly see that they're mushrooms, The Smurfs were around Amanita muscaria, guys. So that's what the Amanita muscaria look like. They're on the Smurfs, right? Mario, different things like that. So you can see Amanita muscaria everywhere. You can even find Santa Claus on an Amanita muscaria. He's with the Amanita muscaria, which is telling you that is Santa Claus. You know, it's all in your head. So a lot of this stuff comes from ritual too. So that's Amanita muscaria, of course, comes from ritual. See, Rockwell said I had my first orgasm at 24, and it literally felt like I died. You literally be going like you can feel it all over your body when you have that type of real orgasm. You know what I mean? Absolutely, the penis looks like a mushroom. But if you see these, you'll see that the top of the mushroom, the cap, is actually flared way out. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, that a mushroom is actually synonymous with the penis, being that it has a head and a shaft. You see what I'm saying? Krishna is the same way. Like the mushroom is male and female because the mushroom's shaft is going into the vagina or the penis head. The shaft is going into the actual penis head of the mushroom, so it is male and female, the mushroom itself. And Krishna is a hermaphrodite, you know, male, female, having one breast, one hand, just like the mushroom. The hand of the mushroom is underneath it. Let me get on this camera so I can show you. The hand of the mushroom is underneath the mushroom. When you see all those lines, when you hold a mushroom upside down and look in the cap, you see all those lines going out. That's Jesus was pierced in his hand, right? And so you see the mushroom going inside of the hand, the nail going inside of the hand. These are all stories that are taken from ritual and added with the Bible to make the crucifixion up of Jesus. So why was Jesus nailed in his hand? That comes from the DMT mushroom, believe it or not. You know, if you see pictures of Brahma and Vishnu, they have one hand up. Jesus too, he'll have one hand up and one hand that you can't see. And that just symbolizes having one hand, and that hand is covering one chest, and the other side of the chest is being revealed. That's one hand, one breast, right? That's what that means. A hermaphrodite. That's what it means, y'all. I'm not making this up. Now that comes from, of course, having two energies, which is where the Kundalini energy comes from, having two energies, male and female. And you guys will be able to see that stuff as you're doing your studying as well. Royal Outlet, he says you're an ascendant in Leo, and that's why you look like a lion. Listen, you would be surprised how many people have told me that I look like a lion. One of my best friends, who I did DMT with one time, he said that whenever we did the DMT, I looked just like a lion. He's like, my face was a lion head. Now, obviously, I'm spitting knowledge at this time, and I'm dropping knowledge on really everybody in the room who's also sharing this experience. And everyone in the room said that my face looked like a lion. They was like bugged out. Now we was on DMT, but everybody in the room was like, "Oh my God, you a god, you a god, bro!" Like they was going crazy. I'm like, I'm not a god, bro. I'm human. But it's crazy that Leo is a passionate, creative person who's a leader and things like that. And the sun is actually their guiding star. And what does the sun do? Give its life and doesn't ask for reward. What does the sun do? Give us light. And we were in darkness. And I seem to embody all of that. That's why I say, you know, if you're looking at that, it'll be true to you. But then it's true for your experience. So I can make Jesus true to my experience because I had a feeling, and by that feeling, I thought that Jesus was real. Like so does every other person in every other religion. By that feeling, they think that Jesus is real or Allah is real. So my thing is, by me, shoot, Virgo, Leo, it's very real by my personal experience. But if everyone can't look at their sign and say it makes sense to me, then we can't do that. You see what I'm saying? We have to look at it in a different way, a way that it can be validated amongst us so we can actually say this is something that's firm. That's what I mean by studying, guys. When we went into religion, we didn't do any of that. And a lot of us needed religion so bad that we didn't want to think like that. And even now, some of us may need symbolism or zodiac so badly that we don't even want to look at something like that. We don't want to hear that zodiac ain't real. Like, you know what I mean? That's our new foundation of navigating, just like Jesus was in the Bible. But we can't let our minds think like that. We have to challenge our minds to always break out and think differently. You feel what I'm saying? None, yo, it's going to be here, trust me. It's definitely going to be here. So you'll be able to watch this video anytime. You're right, Frederick. Wesley is wise or west. You're absolutely right. And I actually am the opposite of convincing people to believe in God. I represent the West. If you look at it's crazy because Western thinking pulls you away from God, right? Well, Kevin Wesley means from the West, right? Meaning I'm pulling you away from the fake God. Now watch this. Where do you turn to pray? The East, because the sun rises in the East. When you say your orisons, which sounds like horizon, when you say your orisons, you turn where? To the East and pray to the God of the East, right? It's so funny, but you call, women who are in Freemasonry, you call them Eastern stars, right? There's so much into this. Why? Why is he the God of the East? Why is this? Even in the Bible, it says that people will turn their backs on me and they won't turn to the East to pray to me, but they'll turn to the West and pray to Baal or Nimrod. Why does God care what side you turn to? Think about this, family. Please understand that this is esoteric knowledge, and the God of the Bible is not a real person. There is no person who killed the whole planet because angels were mixing with humans. This didn't happen. This is esoteric knowledge because the sun was in Cancer and God acted emotional and rash because the sun was in Cancer during this story. So if you're going to make people understand the sun, then you tell them a story about Cancer, which is a water sign, an emotional sign. Actually, Cancer is the most powerful sign in the zodiac, being that it's represented by water, and water makes up the majority of the world's mass, as most of the world is water, right? So if you look at the Aquarius is bearing water, which is going to give us all enlightenment. So, of course, the water in this particular story killed the world, not enlightened it. You see what I'm saying? So Cancer is representation of emotion. The emotional Cancer got mad and killed the world and even regretted making man because he was in his emotions. It didn't really mean that it happened. You see what I'm saying, family? Frederick, you on it, bro. I can tell you study, bro. And I actually can appreciate that. You're a Cancer royal outlet, absolutely, okay. And now Cancer, and now in Africa, you're not going to find a whole lot of water representing Cancer. You're going to find the beetle. It looks like a dung beetle, and note the dung beetle, of course, pushes around dung, something that nobody else wants to touch, but it takes that dung and it creates life from it, right? It's seeds or its children or whatever will come from this excretion, this dung, and rise to life, right? It's representation of that, and you're going to be able to see the Cancer or the beetle used all throughout. And in fact, if you look at the mummy, look at all those little beetles that was on the ground killing people. Remember that? Notice how they always try to make Egyptian information look bad. The beetle never meant anything bad, y'all. Look throughout history and look at the beetle everywhere. The beetle is Ma'at. It is the power. It is the power. Look at the Ma'at, and you see the beetle inside the center of the Ma'at, representation as the sun. The beetle was very powerful because it brings forth life out of seemingly death or excretion. There was a point to this. So when these Egyptians or Africans would look at these different characters and animals, they would learn from them. In fact, the reason that we learned mummifying is we learned it from the jackal or the dog. The dogs would dig up the shallow graves and eat the entrails out of the stomachs, causing them to break down slower. And when they learned this, they said, well, we can just remove the organs initially and then slow down that process. So they learned to mummify from a dog. Therefore, Anubis, who was the dog of the dog star, who was God, represented by a dog star or a dog. When you die, you see Anubis. He was your god of mummification because they learned, or he was the symbol of, I hate to use the word God because the Egyptians didn't use that word. That word is 1,800 years old, and the Egyptians wouldn't have known that word or even used it like that at all. So not only is the word God new, the definition of it is new. So no one was saying anything that meant a creator of the universe before someone made up a word God. That's why I try to tell people the God is the word. People say the word of God, well, the Bible says that God is the word. He is. Because without God, without words, you don't have God. The only reason we know about God today is because of words, spells. People told you God exists, told you everything about God, and now you know about God. You never saw this person. He never spoke to you at all. Only words are what got you believing that. The same thing that gets you to believe a lie. Words. That's all it takes. The same thing that gets you to believe a lie without proof is just words. You feel me? So I hope that we have at least that understanding that God is only words, and without words there is no God. It's funny that God's first thing he did was spoke, but you can't have God without speaking. He's nothing but words. He's a sound. It's like Allah. It's just a sound. It's a word. It's just something that people say. You understand? They don't exist in the realm of reality, though. So what can you tell us about the Scorpio? Well, yeah, of course, I spoke about Scorpio as well, but you see Scorpio as an M, also an M, but it has a point on its tail. The scorpion stings with its back tail. That's why the M looks like that. It stings with its back tail, and its tail, once it hits you, it makes a mark like a kiss. Judas is representation of the Scorpio. When the sun was in Scorpio, the story is told that Judas kissed Jesus. When a scorpion stings you, it leaves a kiss, a mark that looks like a kiss on you. You feel me? So that's what it is. Judas, the scorpion kisses Jesus. And listen, this story is told before. Orion is also stung by a scorpion, and the Sagittarius has to kill the scorpion or protect Jesus or protect Orion. And to this day, Orion runs from the scorpion. Why does Orion hide from the scorpion? Orion is supposed to be a god. Why would he hide from a scorpion? Well, he doesn't really hide from a scorpion, but when you look into the stars, Orion seems to be running from the scorpion. The scorpion never seems to catch Orion. When it looks like they're close, Orion seems to flee. And that's why they say Orion flees the scorpion to this day. He don't want no beef. He don't want no beef with the scorpion, bro. Neither does Jesus. Jesus flees that scorpion every time he sees it. He don't like Judas, right? Avoid the Judases in your life. It's talking about the stars, family, not in real life. In the stars, the Scorpio, when you play connect the dots with the stars, you get the scorpion. In the stars, when you play connect the dots, you see a man that is Orion, and that's whenever Orion is, and whenever the sun is in Orion, Orion seems to go down, where the scorpion seems to go up. That's why Orion dies after the scorpion. It's why the sun dies after Scorpio. Whenever the sun goes through Scorpio and it's stung, the sun starts to descend at that point. That's why it's dying, right? Now, it doesn't die until December. It has to be judged first, right, to see if he's perfect. But, of course, he's going to die anyway. So he goes through Libra, which is the scales of justice. So he gets judged. And then, of course, he has to face the big dog, Sagittarius, who now is going to defend Jesus, aiming from his heart. But, of course, Jesus gets pierced, and the Sagittarius sign is a cross. And then, of course, Jesus dies and goes to Capricorn for 3 days and rises with the power of death, hell, and the grave, right? This is facts, y'all. This is all esoteric knowledge. I'm not making this stuff up, family. It doesn't die until December. It has to be judged first, right, to see if he's perfect. Well, so I felt God before. I felt enlightenment before. I've been at a state of bliss before, a high inside of my mind before, and it was awesome. It is there that you see God, that which you can't explain. Please understand what God is. When you get to this place of enlightenment, it's a feeling you can't explain. That is what they're calling God, family. You get a telescope and a microscope, and you will understand God. Yeah, you got to see different perspectives, bro. Absolutely. I like that. Right, Daniel in the Lion's Den was the sun in the constellation of Leo. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. And this is why you get these stories, guys. The Taurus, what does a bull represent? Slavery, being yoked in bondage. Whenever they're in the zodiac or the age of Taurus, you hear the Israelites now being enslaved by Egypt, and then they have to be rescued. And you hear God saying, don't be unequally yoked, using a slavery term. Don't be bound to someone that doesn't think like you, right? This is what they're saying. Don't be enslaved, right? And then when God brings the Israelites out of Egypt, he gives them a ram to kill. Why? Because Aries comes after Taurus. He's showing you, I'm bringing you out of that bullshit into ram shit. Because it's still not true. And I be red flagging the bullshit. That's why they mad at doing me. Rick laughed. That's why they mad at doing me, because I be red flagging all the bullshit. What does a matador do? He carries a red flag, doesn't he? And he show you the bull. What was you saying, Ricky? I can't help it, bro. Oh man. So of course he's having you to kill rams like angels doesn't know who the Israelites are. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Can get back on camera. Before we end this, guys, okay, so we're supposed to understand that God slaughtered all these lambs and put blood over their doors, as if angels don't know what an Israelite is, as if angels don't know who the chosen people of God is. So the angels can know not to kill you, but God knows everything. Put this blood of these lambs over your door. Why? Why would you put the blood of the lamb over your head? Over your head, to represent Yahweh, the ram or lamb that lives in the sky, right? That is eventually going to shed blood for you and to save you, to save the Israelites from death. At that moment, they needed the sacrifice of the blood of the lamb to save them from being killed. And where did they put it? Over their door, over their eye, over the top, right? Where Yahweh lives, in the sky, over your head, right? And some of this right now probably going over some of y'all heads. But you don't see this story being repeated over and over, that these angels apparently don't know everything. So now they need to see blood on your door before they don't kill you, because they're going to kill everybody. And then once they brought the Israelites out of Egypt, after using these lambs to show you we're about to go into Aries, coming out of Taurus, what do these Israelites do? They mistakenly worship a golden calf, and this pissed Yahweh off, because we out of the age of Taurus. We don't worship cows no more. We out of that. We're into the age of the ram now. So please understand, I got a ram in the bush for y'all now. I got y'all eating lamb. I got y'all thinking lamb. I even call y'all sheep. Your whole paradigm is sheep, goat, and ram. I don't want you talking about bulls anymore. So I'm going to kill 3,000 of y'all had to die. That's another 3. 3,000 of them had to die. Jesus was dead for 3 days. He rose on the 3rd day. He died at 33. He went missing at 13. Showed up at 30. See what I'm saying? Do you guys see what I'm saying? You cannot make this stuff up, family. You literally cannot make this stuff up. It's right there for y'all to see. Yet y'all believe, or Christians believe, that Jesus really died at 33, really showed back up at 30 after being missing for 18 years. After being gone for 18 years, he shows back up all of a sudden at 30. 18. Jesus was 8, right? He gets missing for 18 years, shows back up at 30, goes missing at 13. He's the 13th, the 13th out of 12. 13 is the horror story of America. All the movies that we know of that come with the number 13 in it. No level 13 in any building. No floor can you go to the 13th floor on, right? We know this. 13 is very meaningful and impactful, right? 13 zodiac signs originally in Africa, removed down to 12 in the Western zodiac. But why? What was the 13th? A snake bearer called Ophiuchus. A snake bearer, a person who seems to be wrestling with a snake. Why was he removed? Think about that, y'all. Right, Lee Sean said the Sphinx and the pyramids lines up with the Leo and the stars. Absolutely. So the year started in Virgo, ended in Leo. The Sphinx has the head of a woman and the body of a lion. Many say that this Sphinx actually was a dog first, was Anubis. I wouldn't argue with that, as I wasn't there to see it, but I would tell you this. There's a saying that says, I'd rather be a dog's head than the tail of a lion, which is crazy, because if the Sphinx was represented by Anubis's head with the lion's body, it's like I would rather be the head of a dog than the tail of a lion. What coined that phrase? Who started saying that? Think about that. If y'all ever heard that term, I'd rather be a dog's head than a lion's tail. You know what I mean? Right, Rod's Friday the 13th considered bad luck. Absolutely, bro. Right, Bobby. I thought he don't make mistakes, but he said he'd be great at making man. And it's crazy, guys. Like, we have to understand that, you know, Royal said 13 is the key. Absolutely. And so, listen, guys, we have to understand that there's more to. And actually, if you put the three and the three over the one, it makes the serpent going up the Kundalini too. Just by me looking at it, you can just say the 3 on top of 1, and you see the serpent going up the staff. Same thing if you put an 8 over the 1, the 2 serpents going up the staff. And Jesus was missing for 18 days. 8 over the 1 is a caduceus, and Jesus was 13 when he became missing. 3 over 1, of course, is a Kundalini. It's crazy. And now numerology is everything because, of course, they teach you numerology all through this stuff, and maybe that's something as well. I mean, even in the zodiac, before you get from Aries before you get from Taurus to Aries, there was a it's on the tip of my tongue, but there's another constellation that looks like a dragonfly or a bug, you know, and that's before Taurus. And remember, that's before Aries, remember, and that's not in our constellation. We can't see those star signs, but they were in someone else's. And the Bible says that he sent locusts into Egypt. So they actually used that zodiac sign to use it towards that. Yeah, 18 equals 9, which is the highest number. Absolutely right. 9, because 10 doesn't count really in astrology. 9 is the largest whole number. That's why numbers start over again after 9. That's why Jamal says throw your 9s up, right? 9 ether. We know the power of the number 9 as well. 1 and 8 make 9, absolutely. So he came back at 30, which is 3, and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Then he dies at 33, which equals 6, absolutely, which is the 9 overturned. Absolutely, bro, absolutely. So we think this stuff really happened in real life, you see. That's why I'm saying we have to think above that, right? So Friday the 13th has something to do with the Mason. Okay, he's talking to someone else. Okay, cool. Michelle gave Lorenzo some hearts. Let me try to find what Lorenzo said, because I know if Lorenzo said something, it had to be bomb. I didn't see it, Lorenzo. Let's see here. I saw people speaking to my boy, but I ain't saw him talking. Maybe I just came back to Facebook when Lorenzo commented, so I can't see it. It doesn't show it to me. Royal Outlet said they reversed everything on us. Yes, it's time for us to go in instead of looking out or whatever, so we can actually free ourselves from this matrix. Who is Jesus? Who is God? They are no one. They are ways of understanding yourself. They are you. Jesus, God is you. You are Jesus. You are God. You are the Christ energy. You are supposed to go from hell to heaven inside of you. It is not about what happens after you die. Well, it is. It's after you die methyltryptamine, not after you die as in be laid to rest, as in passed away. Right? I'm supposed to go here instead of looking out. So please understand that he rose, right? Jesus rose. He rose. He rose. He rose. Wait a second. He rose. A hero is someone who protects the innocent. But Jesus, he rose, right? So you can't see how these words is flipped. You know what I mean? So Jesus is a hero. Why? Because he rose. You see what I'm saying? And so you rise. Rise just like Jesus supposedly rose from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain, so you can be crucified. You, the old you, the person that is yourself, your avatar, can be crucified, and the new person can rise again. You feel me? Oh, okay, Lorenzo talks about the Hollywood stuff. Absolutely. Again, this is not what I'm saying is not new information. It can definitely be looked up, and I challenge y'all to do that, man, so you can see that Kevin ain't just rambling. A lot of y'all hear the stuff I'm saying. I saw your comments saying it sounds like his head had turned to stone, or it sounds like he's smoking something. People say, Kevin, whatever weed you smoking, let me hit it. They always say this to imply that I'm off my rocker. But if you would do your research, you would see I am very sane, and I'm getting my information from very real places, not made up, pinching and grabbing at straws, family. It's time that we wake up. You feel me? So that's going to be it for this show. I'm not going to go live tonight. This show right here was just for the people who's struggling with religion to come out, and they often say all kind of crazy things to me about religion. I want them to understand it's more to what they think. So now I have a video that I can refer them to when they say, Kevin, please tell me how you think. Please tell me what you believe in. I'm telling you guys now, I understand a lot of information. I understand a lot of knowledge, but I don't believe in anything. Believing in something is very premature, because the word believe is right there. It means you don't know it. So we need to know. Until you know, simply be an observer. Simply be a studier. You don't jump a hypothesis to a fact. That is stupid, right? That is stupid. When people say, Kevin, you don't know if the earth is round and flat, I haven't had enough information for me to make that claim. I can read enough information from people to understand things like, say, it's up in the air. But to argue, for me to argue personally on whether I think the earth is flat or not, I'm not so sure or round. I don't have enough information for me to be able to say that. And people say, well, you're not being fair because there's enough information out there to decide. Not enough that makes me commit to saying I believe the earth is round and flat. That still means you don't know. It just means you're choosing a side. And I don't think it's really relevant to know that if the world is round and flat when people getting murdered and enslaved and raped and, you know, white supremacy and stuff exists in this world. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. I want us to really understand that we don't want to jump all the way into belief. Let's take our time, family. Raquel says we are something, we are existence. I would venture to say that we are no thing. See, this is why I say about there's a whole different perspective. We are no thing, Raquel. You're nothing. You're no thing. You're called a human because a human told you to call yourself that. You're called a female because humans told you to call yourself that. You don't know what you are. You don't know if what you don't have a real name for you, a real name. You have identifiers that you use to navigate yourself. So you'll say, I'm a female, I'm black, you know, I'm a woman, you know, that's female is woman, obviously I'm being redundant now, but I'm a human, right? All these things are things that you say because you identify with them. But really, you can't be defined. You are no thing. You are no thing, not something. You are no thing. There's no thing that can describe you. There's no words that can describe you. We can try and use words to describe you, but they really don't. See what I'm saying? I understand, Rockwell, and that's fine. That's what Be Evolution is for. You feel me? So it's about to be a new year for so many people on this Gregorian calendar. It's time to come out knowing that this is not a new year. Tomorrow is just another day. It literally is just another day. But we can take that and make it symbolic and say, tomorrow I'm going to go into a new year for me. Tomorrow I'm going to be a thinker. I'm going to be a thinker, not a believer. I'm not going to subscribe to stuff because it sounds good. I'm not going to be the people in the room that heard Killmonger speak and all of a sudden they felt just like Killmonger after they heard him speak. No, I need to verify what you're saying. Yes, what you're saying makes me angry enough to go to war, but I need to verify what you're saying. We wanted to go to war after 9/11, and none of us verified who really was the cause of that. Now we understand that it was the cause to create the fear on terror, or the war on terror, unlimited, eternal war on terror, right? But when 9/11 happened, we were ready to go to war, right? We were ready to go to war with anyone. You understand? Because we were moved by our emotions, and we cannot be like that. That's how we came to Christ. We were moved by our emotions. We need to be moved by our intellect. You understand? Tomorrow is December 31st. Okay, so I'm in over my head. Thank you, Sean. But either way, we know that 2 days from now is not a new year, right, family? We understand that. Right, that's what I mean. Symbolically say this is going to be a new for me. Right, I don't have to wait until then. I can change my life right now. I can change my mind right now. And if you change your mind, you change your life. When you change your mind, you change your world. You change the way you see the world, you change the outlook of your life. You understand? And that can be done today with simple introspection. Go in. The way out is in, family. Wake up, become powerful. I'm telling you. Walk in power, family. Now, it's funny how, we understand that green is ultimate power. But if someone's new to something, they say you green, right? We had this term where we say you green. I'm going to tell you now, you green. Not because you new to it. I'm telling you, you green because you powerful. You understand? Go out and be Hulk. Smash. Bruise. You feel me? Go out and not the angry Hulk. Go out and be the Hulk that can transcend dimensions. That Hulk. The true meaning of Hulk. Planet Hulk. You see Hulk always going somewhere. He fought Thor on a different mountain, right? And in several different movies, Hulk has always been on all these different places, right? We know that. In fact, on the Avengers, what did Loki do? He put Hulk back in a portal. Now Thor is his brother. Why didn't he send Thor out off the ship to save Thor? He only saved the Hulk. Why? Why did he put Hulk on a portal out of there? Why? You understand? And now watch this. The purple is the highest spectrum of light, above green. What happened when Hulk came in thinking that he was going to be able to hang with my man, Thanos, who was purple? He got whooped, didn't he? Thanos was purple, representing enlightenment. Thanos saw that there were too many people in the world and too many people were dying, and he needed to do something to change it, right? This is Thanos. And he beat the crap out of the Hulk. In fact, the Hulk didn't even want to come out no more after he got that L. What I'm saying is, if we can use our purple chakra, rise to our purple chakra, we can become more powerful than money itself. Money won't be the root of our evil. We won't be beaten by money or green, or the thing that people call ultimate power. We will be the ultimate power. We will be the highest spectrum of light. You feel me? Look at every single movie scene as if it's a story in the Bible, and you can use them to grow from it. You feel me? Yeah, the new Avengers, the opening scene, they're on a spaceship fighting, and they say, we have a Hulk. He brings Hulk in from outer space. Hulk tries to fight him. Looks like he's winning until he realized Thanos ain't no joke. Thanos beat the crap out the Hulk, slammed him on the ground, and he's laying there knocked out. And then Loki, not Loki, but it wasn't Loki. It was the guy who works with Thor, the one who's played by Idris Elba, who uses that sword to work with the bringing people in on the portals. He used this sword to transfer what's her name back out of space, which he could have did it for anybody. He's closest to Thor. You'd have thought he would have protected Thor or even himself, but he didn't. So it's like, why did he choose the Hulk? Because he has to choose the Hulk. You see what I'm saying? Because Hulk represents something. It's a story because it's trying to teach you something. You feel me? It's the same way as like even on Friday, Red is called Red because he thinks low. Red got his chain took from him and he cried. Right? He cried because he cared so passionately about a piece of metal. Red. And he identified with his mama giving him that chain. His name is Red, family. See what I'm saying? I'm Debo. I'm snatching your chains and you crying about it. You feel me? I'm snatching your chains, not your gold necklace chain, but your slavery chains, and you mad at me for doing it. I'm Debo, you know? Don't be laughing, Rick. Yeah, everybody want to hide their chain because they see me. It's serious though, because if I ask a lot of people what they believe in, they don't want to tell me because they think I'm gonna criticize it. So they definitely hiding their chains. Oh man, that's so funny, man. That is so funny, bro. And and what's crazy is my gun is my weapon, and I keep my eyes are my weapon. I keep my eyes cocked. They loaded. And did not Devo always keep a cocked eye? Oh man, that's funny, man. Yeah, man. So listen, guys, we done, man. We are done for today. I love y'all. Be evolution. Be the change you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. Get the album on www.beevolution.org. Join Kevin Wesley group to travel with us. Do it now, guys. It's $100 to get started until the 4th. After that, it's like $600. So if you waiting, don't wait. Now that's all I can tell you. Join the group now. Join now. It's $100 to get in to start traveling with us all over the world to get started. If you're not doing that, you're gonna be paying $600 after the 4th. Okay? You're gonna be paying $600 after the 4th to do the same thing you can do now with $100. All right? Join, guys, if y'all going to travel with us. Join if y'all are going to travel with us, all right? All right, family? Rockwell, never say never. Many of us did the same things, but you don't know. You don't know. You do not know what you'll say later. You feel me? So, and I appreciate you being honest, but you never know. One day you will get to a point to where you say, there is no God. What is God? God is a made-up word and concept by man that it was invented 1,800 years ago. So why are we even having a debate if God is real? God is a made-up word by man 1,800 years ago, not 12,000 years ago, not 1,000,000 years ago. So we can't think that a God spoke and said his name was God, and man didn't come up with this word till 1,800 years ago. Do you understand the word God isn't as old as God or the Bible or the literature in the Bible that says that God said he was God? You see what I'm saying? You can say God is within, but God is a man-made word. The only reason we're saying God is within is because there's no other way to say this character we was taught about by the name and identification as God is in. What we're telling you is ultimate energy is within, not God. There is no God. What we're only saying God as an identifying tool. Please understand, the same way we say woman or man, we're using like a zebra. A zebra isn't a zebra. You understand? Zebras don't walk around calling themselves zebras. No other animals walk around calling zebras zebras. Oh, that's a zebra over there. Men identify the zebra as a zebra, but it is not a zebra. Understand? It is an animal in the world. It's a life form, and we just call it that. Understand, okay? So saying God is the same way as saying zebra. There is no zebra. There is no such thing as a zebra. Yes, we identify with the animal and we call it a zebra, but it doesn't exist. Okay? Cool. Thank you, Rockwell. So let's understand there is no God. You see what I'm saying? There is zero gods. As gods were made up by men, just like there are no superheroes. Superheroes was made up by men. You feel me? So if I was saying the superhero lives in you, I'm telling you that the powerful being lives in you. You see what I'm saying? Zebras on horses with tigers. That is the funniest thing I've heard all day. I'm done, family. I am done, right? I am done, family. I love y'all. Let's get back into this next week. Believe me, I always watch all my lives back again, so I will be looking at all of your questions. Any questions that come after this from Christians, we're going to try to attack again next week to just try to give our family members, our loved ones, some perspective on why we are where we are. We're not dumb. We didn't accept that Jesus wasn't real the same way we accepted that he was real. You feel me? We understand that this person doesn't exist. Get back on camera before I get off. We understand that this person didn't exist in reality, and that's it. We're not mad at him. We're not angry with him because that's the same as being angry at Harry Potter, right? Or any fictional character in the world. We know that he didn't exist, and we know that he means something. We all are Superman, right? We all have an opportunity to be out of this world. Superman felt alone, right? He was different. We all are alone and different if you really think about it. We think that we're family and connected because we look alike, but in each one of us, we have unique traits that if we open them up and show them to people, we will feel more of an outcast period anyway. It's amazing how you feel more family when you don't talk about who you really are, but then when you expose who you really are, you see how different you really are. We are more different than anything in the world. We are as different as an alien is to us, to each other. You understand? We just think that we have a lot in common because we look alike. But inside of our souls, we are very different in our personalities and intellect and things of that nature, talents and gifts, so forth and so on. So I want us to look at ourselves in that way. We're infinite beings, but we're trapped in this concept that is a biological body. You feel me? God, or the power that is this universe, is infinite. We've tried to encapsulate it into a man called Jesus, Dionysus, Zeus, Hermes, Krishna, Buddha, Brahma, Vishnu, Dionysus, Ganesh, Hercules. I'm naming a lot of gods, not just Jesus, so you can see I'm not aiming this at anyone specifically, but at any person who believes in a God outside of yourself. The same way we are infinite, but we live in this body, is the same way they took an infinite concept like power, God, and infused that into a capsule of a biological meat suit and told you this person is God. That is really silly. There is no person that's God. There is no spirit that's God that told people to write a book, period. Understand that when someone says the Bible is God inspired, they're saying that my idea on God inspired me to write this. That's what they're saying. If I say Ricky Swink inspired me to do something, it means I saw Ricky do something and it inspired me to do it, not that Ricky told me to do it. So don't think that God told people to write the book. People wrote the book because they believed in a God. It was God inspired, and that's every religion book. God inspired doesn't mean God told. Understand that. Y'all think God told somebody to write this stuff. That is not what happened. In the Bible, it means the thought or the aspiration of, not someone told me to. Please understand that. If I were to say right now, which he didn't, but if I were to say Tupac inspired me to be a rapper, no one would think that Tupac told me to be a rapper. They would think that Tupac inspired me to be a rapper. I watched Tupac and was moved by Tupac to rap. That's what they would see. So the Bible being God inspired is saying that our thoughts of God, trying to figure out God, made us write this book, right? And what is God to them in that form? The sun and space. That was God at that time. So we're going to write about God and the sun, but we're going to make them human bodies and give them names and stuff. That's all they did, family. And the same way that Bruce means bruised is the same way that these names in the Bible mean something. Abram means Abram. You see what I'm saying? The same way that Jacob means con artist and Israel means strong enough to wrestle with God. These names mean something, and even back then they were doing that. This is not new to create characters, family. So just please understand that. This live been 3 hours. I did my job. Like as I said, we went live. We killed it. No live tonight, family. But I think we got enough right here. Share this again tonight if y'all want to do that. I may put this on as a watch party tonight on Facebook. So if you didn't watch it yet, it'll be available to you tonight. Of course, it's available as soon as I come off, but I'll play it as a watch party if you want to watch it with a group of people and get all new comments on it. We'll do it like that. So tonight at 8 o'clock, I'll replay this as a watch party so everybody can see it on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, I can't do it, so just make sure you come to Facebook at 8 o'clock or tell people who didn't get to see the whole video to come at 8 o'clock because you can't share it, all right? So let's do that. Tag people, tell them, come to Kevin Wesley's page at 8 o'clock. We're going to watch this what's the name, and we're going to get it in, okay? That's it for me, family. Like I said, be evolution, be the change that you want to see, right? And no candle loses its flame from lighting another. Rick, if you don't mind, you want to give me your slogan or is there anything you want to say? Cool. Ricky said he was good, so that's it, family. We're closing off. I love y'all. Let me get back. Okay, I'm on camera. I was about to say, let me get back on camera. Let me throw up my peace sign. Boom, 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 family. Peace, unity together. People ask me often, what's this sign mean? This one means separation as they are separated. This one means peace, togetherness as they are together. This is not a gun. I had a guy who's supposed to be an intellectual. I took a picture with him doing this, not knowing, of course, what he taught or whatever. It didn't really matter. Just a picture with a human being. I don't really care either way. But when people saw he put the photo on Facebook, and people was like, that's an ex-pastor dude. Of course, he's a Hebrew Israelite. And everybody on the comments will say, he pointing a gun at you. No, I'm not pointing a gun at you, you ignorant people. This means peace. I do this beside everyone. It literally means together. So peace, family. I love you all. Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. And no candle loses its flame from lighting another, all right? Peace, family. Love y'all. See y'all next time.